of government, we must guard against the acquisition of unwarranted influence, whether sought or unsought, by the military-industrial complex.
Okay, welcome back everyone. Anonymous Bites back. Tonight we have a special about the Reddit raid on Wall Street. It's pretty funny. Please make sure to share this around. Sorry guys, the running nose. But that's what we depend on. Like we're dealing with shadow bans. You guys know that we don't have any advertising budget or anything, but we provide some information you won't find anywhere else. This one is going to be funny and it will be interesting for you guys. You might learn a new thing or two. We have AK in. Yeah, and enjoy it. And if you have questions, use the YouTube chat. Not the Periscope. Use the Periscope for the stream because Twitter loves it. But on YouTube there is this chat and you can just use it to put in information or questions or whatever, and we'll just mention it on air. I mean, we'll mention everything, don't worry. Just use that one and make sure to also share the YouTube thing around. Okay.
Alright, so Wall Street, Melvin Capital, and another venture capital firm both got wrecked when Reddit Wall Street Bets decided that they were going to put in longs and pump GameStop. Now, this didn't stop with GameStop. They have now pumped AMC, Blockbuster. I don't know if Macy's is one of them. I'm pretty sure Macy's was another one that they pumped. I could be wrong about that. But, I mean, they're pumping all these different stocks. And the way that this started out is hilarious. Because what you got to realize is that these Wall Street vultures are crying wolf and saying, "Oh, we need new regulations." Because, "Oh, we need to get new regulations now that the retailers are doing what we've been doing for years." You know, what they did was organized as well with GameStop. They shorted GameStop. They essentially tried to kill the company and put 70 million shorts when the company only has, I think it's like 68 million shares. And further than that, only about 30 million of that is actually tradable because all the other shares are locked up from other venture capitalists invested in the company, or just regular investors. So it's kind of funny that they got wrecked like this, and they're crying about putting regulations in, and how these people are such horrible people for doing this. When Wall Street and Melvin Capital and everyone who was involved in shorting GameStop were trying to essentially kill the company, and not only kill the company, but basically destroy thousands and thousands of jobs. All those people who work at GameStop or work for GameStop in some capacity, be it at a warehouse or wherever, they were trying to take their jobs away from them, and trying to profit big on a big short, and kill the company with 70 million shorts. Which again, that's over the amount of actual shares that the company has. So, I mean, it's ironic and it's funny that Wall Street is crying about this. What are your thoughts on all of this?
Yeah, it just shows how the internet can do so much, right? Can take control over the stock market. But it's these constitutional investors, these big investment groups running everything, and then it is the internet showing some real power. And Reddit, yeah, makes you think about like these old anonymous raids, right? It's like it's back, and now it's on Wall Street Bets. Wall Street Bets new, actually, because the other one was at least temporarily closed.
No, they unban it.
Which is good. I mean, it shouldn't be banned. This is the kind of stuff that you can do, and Reddit should embrace these kind of things. Yeah, I know. So this is fun. This is trolling the stock market, and you can see how vulnerable it is. Vulnerable, and
well, let's be 100% honest here. That while people are wrecking the venture capitalists, there's going to be a lot of people that get wrecked in this as well. But it's putting your money where your mouth is, and it's occupying Wall Street.
It is occupying Wall Street, and this is what should have been done much earlier.
Yeah, be honest. I mean, when they go and try to destroy companies, this should be the response. When they have these massive shorts, where they take leveraged, over-leveraged shorts on companies and try to push a company down and destroy the company, this is what should happen. They should be wiped out clean. And Melvin Capital now just took I think it was like $2.3 billion or something like that. Took a loan from all these other companies, or it's not really even a loan. It's just a injection of money, $2.3 billion injection from all these other companies, because Melvin Capital essentially went bankrupt from this, because they went into debt, man. Like, they were so confident they were going to win off on this short. I mean, they over-leveraged themselves that much. I mean, it exposes the vulture mentality of these Wall Street guys, and how they destroy companies. And, it's a hypocritical thing where they're saying that well, we want regulations now. Like, there was the NASDAQ CEO was on CNBC talking about how now we need regulations on Wall Street. Like, hey, we've been saying that for years. I mean, but you guys want the regulations to only affect retail traders and not institutional traders. And here's another unfair thing that I never understood. And I always thought the stock market was rigged. And that's why I kind of got involved in crypto and not stocks. Is that the institutional traders can trade 24/7 after hours of the stocks,
Yeah.
and also before hours, right? But retail traders can't. They can only trade during the hours of the stock market.
Yeah, that gives an unfair advantage. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay, but to say it basic to listeners, this is about shorting is a concept that you bet on a company going down, right? And if you short together, you can literally destroy a company. And now what what the Reddit guys did, if I'm correct on this, you have to correct me if I'm wrong on this, is they started buying these stocks and keeping it artificially high, so that the shorts all failed, and they kept the shorting people in like.
They liquidated. Okay, so they liquidated the shorts, and it pushed the price up, fucking like a rocket ship to the moon. Like it went up. I saw the highest that GameStop was like $210 a stock, and it started out in September at like $5. I mean, like if you would have bought a few shares of GameStop in September. You could potentially you would have been rich overnight from this. And I mean, what they're doing is the digital equivalent of robbing the rich and giving to the poor. Now, yeah, some people are going to get wrecked from this because they're going to buy where there's no support, and it has to. There has to be time to develop support for the stock, but for the most part, this is just wrecking the rich people who tried to destroy a company. And I think it's really it's a message. It sends a message to Wall Street, and I really want to see what the regulations are going to be for this. Like, what are they going to say? Retail traders can't collude? Because guess what? These Wall Street guys collude. They colluded with these shorts. They all colluded to try to destroy GameStop. That's what it was. And it's ironic that they got wrecked like that. And it's funny. I mean, it's like absolutely hilarious because they're trying to destroy a company and doing so by over leveraging. And by the way, when you short something, you are buying. You're immediately buying the shares, right? And saying that it's going to go down, right? So essentially, we'll use the example of an apple. So I buy one apple, right? I go and I sell that one apple for $1, right? Say the apple's $1. I take that $1, I come back, and I rebuy when the apple goes down in price for 50 cents, and I get 2 apples. So that's essentially what they were doing. And they over-leveraged. They over-leveraged their shorts, and they tried to destroy this company. And instead of destroying the company, they got destroyed themselves. And it's like poetic justice.
Yeah, I know it is, and also like, okay, so this is not just happening to companies, right? I mean, the big investors. I talk about examples like the George Soros and stuff. They're also shorting against entire currencies. They're shorting against everything,
Right.
and they did this in the past to literally force entire countries on their knees. Like the country of Sweden, for example, was shorted heavily against, and they were pretty much forced to go into the eurozone, adopt the euro, because the euro is a little too big to short against. Exactly, the US dollar is a little too big to short against by a group of investors. Still, you can short on like a few percentage points, but you can't short against the entire currency and destroy it. But a single country can be shorted against. Like a small country like Sweden, which is an economy it's not that big. It's like the economy of what is it? Like a random U.S. state economy.
Right. Yeah. Well, I mean, we know that George Soros shorted, what was it, the Chinese yuan? I think it was, right?
Yeah. That's okay. But okay, so now the yuan is Chinese yuan is a little bit too big to short against too. But in the past you could do that. Like yeah.
Right. But he took the yuan down, and he also took down, what was the other one where he's banned? He's banned in a country. I think it's Russia, right?
I think it's in Malaysia. I think too. He's banned too. Malaysia. Yeah.
I was trying to remember the countries that he shorted their currency and like caused a economic collapse in the country. I just can't remember the country what it was. I thought it was Russia, but
Okay, so there is how George Soros broke the Bank of Thailand, and then there is George Soros actually beat Malaysia, and that is 1997. Yeah.
Thailand was okay. So Thailand was I thought it was China, but it was Thailand then.
I don't know. Did you say that it's not just George Soros, but his investment group is like 500 billion in size, and he himself owns like 5 billion or something in investments. But then he pushes it himself, and then after that he pushes the investment group, making his private profit go wild too. Like he does it first, and then he puts the investment group in it, so his private wealth benefits from what his investment group does. That's really very sneaky too.
Right, right, and that's typical. That's what they do. So how is that different from Reddit? How is it different from retail traders getting together and buying a stock? It's not. Like, are you going to ban speculation? I mean, I would like to see that. Like.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's what he does. Okay, so imagine you buy, what he does, like you buy Google, you want to buy Google stocks, so you invest $100 in your Google stock, and then you convince your investment company to buy like 10,000 gazillion in Google stock, and your Google stock goes wild, and your private investment just went up unimaginably high, and that is how he makes a lot of money. And now with this shorting, like you always explained, they destroy entire companies because they bet on it going down, and they use institutional groups for it. Like
they bet on it going down and push it down by shorting.
Yeah, and everyone sees them moving, and the rest goes too because they see these big groups doing it, and then they want to go too because they know it's going to happen.
Exactly, and that's exactly how they destroy companies, by over leveraging shorts, like this company did. Except this time, before pushing the price down, these guys came in and said, "Hey, everybody buy a GameStop share, and push the price up and hold." And they pushed the price up, held, and they pushed the stock high. I think it was like 150, and then it went to 210. That's just insane. I mean, it went from first it was $5 in September, and then it was like $20, and then it was $40, and then it pushed up to 150. So
yeah,
but it's no different. It really is no different than these guys, these Wall Street guys, getting together and having a backroom meeting and saying, "All right, well, we're all going to short this stock and destroy this business." No.
Yeah. At this time, Reddit just tapped in and showed like the power of the internet. I'm happy to see it. Actually, the power needs to shift. To collective groups like on Reddit, and like we can do the same on Twitter, for example, too. We can do it.
Yeah, but then then Reddit decides that they're going to ban the subreddit. It lasted for a few hours, and then it was unbanned. I have no words for the censorship that's going on at Reddit, and the fact that Reddit has never acknowledged that Aaron Swartz was a founder. They purposely exclude him from being involved. None of those guys over there have mentioned Aaron's name. It doesn't say Aaron's name in the founder about us. If all the founders of Reddit, it's just ridiculous. And the fact that they don't do that is telling. You know, because one, he's no longer with us. He's dead. And you're not showing respect to him as a person by not honoring something that he helped found. And then two, ever since Aaron's death, and then there was another person who left Reddit. I can't remember his name. It has gone down fucking hill when it comes to censorship. Like, censorship has gone way up for everything, and that's not what Aaron wanted for that site. You know, he wanted it to be a free and open site, and he wanted people to fairly be able to distribute information or fairly be able to, show their content, and that's not what it is.
No, and we've seen it during the fight against the copyright directive in the European Union, like Stop ACTA 2. I mean, it was Aaron's watch was involved with the operations against like SOPA and ACTA, and
right.
Then when his when we tried to get support against ACTA 2, it took a lot of effort to get Reddit to even allow our topics, and they banned it like 3-4 times until we like literally started calling them out and like attacking them on their platform, and at that point they started to allow it because it's a disgrace. Of course, this is an anti-censorship event. Aaron Swartz was on the front lines against censorship, on the front lines for freedom of information, and whatever you think of him, if you have a site that is literally founded by him, you can't disgrace his legacy like that. It's disgusting. And many of us we remember Aaron Swartz. He was around with our movement as a nonce, and we can't just accept that his entire history and all the work he did to boost freedom of information is like poisoned like that. It's just not fair.
I mean, he wasn't a non.
Yeah, I can't confirm or deny that he ran some accounts, but yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't fucking matter anymore. I mean,
Yeah.
he wasn't a non, and that's why. You know, like, I don't even give a shit even saying it. I mean, like, that's why when he died, you had such a blowback from Anonymous, because he was one of us, and he helped in a lot of different operations, and one of his biggest was the Stop ACTA 2, or not Stop ACTA 2.
Stop ACTA and Stop SOPA.
Stop PIPA and SOPA.
Yeah.
I don't think ACTA. I think I'm pretty sure it was SOPA and PIPA. But anyway, like, you know, like, he was involved in all of that, and he was one of the lead coders for WikiLeaks and like everything like that. So I mean, he worked and did a lot. He was also working on decentralizing court records. So people would be able to pull up information on court records. I mean, he never got done that, but that's something that he was working on. So, I mean, like, he did a lot of good work, and it's just, like, disgusting for them not to honor his legacy, or even acknowledge that he fucking helped build that site. Without him, you know, Reddit wouldn't be Reddit. It's just ridiculous.
Yeah, of course. And he did so much for the freedom of information, right? Even the RSS protocol was super important.
Right, yeah, that's another thing too.
Yeah, I mean, people don't really realize, but the RSS you see on websites where you could easily get information from a site to your phone or to other sites, which is important. If you have like a small blog and you have RSS added, other blogs can get this information like in seconds fed into their blog, and they can use that information to either like publish those posts directly or to like use them as a source material for information. And this created a network of blogging where everything before that is like, yeah.
it creates a funnel of information and a way to viral information. And same thing was with what Reddit was at one point, where it was fair and everybody had a chance to have content go viral. Really? Now it's a lot more. It's like fully moderated communities, and it's really it's bad. Like it's even the main Reddit mods are really bad with censorship.
Yeah, and who are these people even?
Well, who are they to decide what information we can and can't share?
Yeah, and how did they get into that spot where they can do this? Like, how did they do this? Like, okay, so you have Aaron, one of the founders, like freedom of information activist, and then when he dies, suddenly you have mods on Reddit who are like literally doing the opposite, censoring people, deciding what information is allowed and what not. Like, who put these people in place there? That's what I think. What I instantly start thinking. Like, it wasn't Aaron, right?
It's the other people who were involved with Reddit. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I was saying, like, I'm suggesting that it's actually the people who worked against us that are in power now, right? Over the whole JSTOR thing and all these things. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's very interesting too. I don't know if you heard or not, and this is actually huge news. Regardless of whether you like Reddit or not, it's huge news because it's mainstream. Reddit has now partnered with the Ethereum Foundation. So they are going to be working Reddit into a crypto model. I know it. I know it's coming.
Yeah, okay, but I don't know if that's a good idea. Ground Control says Reddit is compartmentalized. It's also a cesspool of Nazis and racists. Not what Aaron Swartz wanted at all. He would be disgusted.
Well, yeah, I agree with you.
Yeah. Yeah, okay, so would you have a lot of mods who don't like free speech, but it's hard for them to control the internet. So there is a lot of great subreddits, as Gun Control also says. There's too many users practically to completely control. So there is something going on still, and that Wallstreet thing is a great example. I personally love that.
Yeah, I think it's a great example of people power. And you know what's funny? That's really funny, actually, is GameStop's slogan, "Power to the people."
Yeah, it's perfect.
Or power to the players, I mean, not people. Power to the players.
Yeah, so that was the perfect one to choose for this.
Yeah. Power to the players.
Must be why they also chose it, right? I mean, subliminal messaging.
Maybe, but I mean, the fact is that this was the easiest thing in the history, like to pump. I mean, with 70 million shorts, how many shares would you have to buy just to start liquidating them? You're the math guy, so come on.
No. Okay, so no, you have to counter that and keep it up, right? You have to. So technically, I think you have to at least do a similar amount, don't you think?
No, because there's only 30 million shares that are being sold, that are on the market. So, do you understand how easy it was for them to do this? They have 70 million shares in shorts. They're trying to destroy this company, right?
Yeah.
There's only 30 million shares, so they over leveraged And they're not the only one who was shorting the company. But anyway, all in total, the number of shorts from all the companies that were shorting the stock was 70 million. So I mean, like, the fact is that they all over leveraged when there's only 30 million shares that are even available, and you're shorting for 70 million shares. Something's wrong there. And to buy, they're just hoping nobody's going to buy this, insider bullshit, right? And these people proved them wrong and bought the stock and pumped it up to the moon quite easily because there's 70 million shorts. So when you liquidate all those 70 million shorts, the price goes like a rocket ship straight up,
Yeah. Yeah.
And the best part is that there's still shorts that haven't been liquidated yet.
Oh my, that's okay. So that will be like a huge loss, I think, for them.
Or they're going to pump the price up higher and liquidate the fuck out of these people.
Yeah, you can technically. Yeah. Yeah, it's their fault. I mean, this is what happens if you constantly destroy companies like that. Because that's what you do, right? So you have these whole lockdown stories, and some companies are really getting into a lot of problems with that. And then they're facing also these hostile investors who, instead of saving the market, start attacking their own companies too.
Right. Yeah, and that's very important to point out too. I mean, a lot of these investors, they took advantage of the situation of the pandemic, and they shorted a lot of these companies and made a profit off of the fact that they were going to lose business. So I mean, they have been trying to destroy company after company and profit off of it.
Yeah, it just shows they don't care about your country or the people losing their jobs. They're just caring about their own fucking money, so they deserve it. You play that game, you also yeah. You play that game, you also be prepared to lose then.
Right.
Now, to be fair, it's legal in that sense, so they can do it. But yeah, they also. I don't feel bad if they lose from it. I mean, yeah.
Right, and then now you have the Nasdaq CEO saying that they're going to trade. They're going to halt trading for certain stocks. I mean, like, how is that not fucking manipulation?
See, no, exactly. That's also manipulation. But look, I've been active on the stock market for a long time, like just doing small trades. But I've never chosen to attack a company with shorting, right? What I did was actually the opposite. During the lockdown, I did invest, but I invested in these companies I knew would profit from the lockdown, like Domino's Pizza. I said it last episode, I think, too. Like, I knew that people would order more from home, so I knew these delivery companies would grow in value. So it was very obvious for me to just put some money in it. Yeah. I make good money with it. I make not like 10,000 or something, but I make a few $100 on these stock trades. So I'm happy with that.
Of course. Yeah, of course. I mean, of course you're going to make money when everything was down and all the markets were crashing and everything. If you would have bought that dip, that could have been like life-changing fucking money if you put in just $5,000 in the stock market in various different companies. And that's what people don't understand is the power of investing and putting into the right markets or right stocks or right cryptos. Like, you can change your life with just a small amount of money. And it might not be like in a year, it might not be in 2 years, but I mean, it could be like in 5-10 years.
Yeah, but so Yeah, that's true. Exactly, that's true. But like what I like meant with that is like these stock investors, they specifically choose to destroy companies. Well, in this lockdown situation, you don't have to make that choice. This is just their hostile choice because they think there is a little bit more to be made than invest in the positive side of things. Like I was choosing like, okay, so I invest in these companies I know are going to benefit from these lockdowns. Like, and even if you look at like a hostile company like Amazon that is very destructive, you know a company like that is going to profit from these lockdowns because everyone is going to order from home. So even that, but then you're doing positive investments, growing a company. Well, these people deliberately choose to destroy a company, burn it to the ground. Everyone loses their jobs. So yeah.
Right. Exactly, and I mean that's the model that Bain Capital and Goldman Sachs have been doing for years. They've destroyed countless fucking companies by various different schemes. Various different schemes. I mean, I would love to have my Wall Street whistleblower on, Laser Haas,
Oh yeah.
and also um, fuck man, I forgot his name right now. There's another legal whistleblower that I can't remember right now, but I would love to have him on too, because I mean he's very knowledgeable of all the stuff that goes on behind the scenes, with legal stuff, in court, fraud and all of that. Like, and these guys on Wall Street, they do take advantage of laws and use loopholes. And Trump deregulated Wall Street completely. So, I mean, if they're complaining about fucking regulations, you complain about the last president who deregulated all of Wall Street.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, well, Trump knew he would be with making that move. He was opening Wall Street up to these people who are like expert constitutional investors, and they have no mercy. And so when you remove those regulations, Trump knew that these guys would go like vultures upon also like other international businesses and stuff, right? So he was hoping they would fight for, I think, would fight for America and whatever, and attack all these foreign companies and stuff with their investments. But now you can see these vultures are attacking companies on your own shores. So yeah.
Well, I mean, he always knew that they were going to attack companies on their own shores. He was involved in the destruction of Toys R Us. Trump was.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I reported on that. Like, he had invested into Toys R Us, and like, he invested in the company that purchased Toys R Us. I can't remember what the fuck it was. He purchased it anyway after it was destroyed. And I mean, like, the fact is that Trump deregulated Wall Street fully. I mean, you can Google it, look it up. Literally, after the coronavirus, fully deregulated Wall Street. Amidst all that chaos, he fully deregulated Wall Street. For the past couple of years, he was just slowly deregulating it. But when, after the whole pandemic in March, the stocks collapsed, he fully deregulated everything. So, I mean, when people, like, look at schemes going at Wall Street, I mean, you can blame the last president for it. And that's just facts. I mean, whether I like Trump or not, and I don't, but I mean, the thing is, it's just that's factual, the factual information, and if you like Trump or not, you can't argue with factual information that he literally deregulated Wall Street.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I get that. That is his. That's his side of politics, right? The money, making it easy for the rich to invest and raid the markets, and then assuming that the rich are going to pull you out of trouble, but not making the observation that these people have never really done anything for your community. They just want to profit, and if the
Right.
yeah.
And it's until it would be ironic. It would be so fucking ironic if they short Trump hotels and take Trump hotels down in coordination, because it would be fucking ironic because he's the allow. Like they had borrowing limits. I don't know like what exactly the borrowing limit is. I'm not too versed in that, that realm. My whistleblowers are, so I mean they understand it a lot more than I do. I mean, I'm not a lawyer. I'm not a economist or Wall Street trader, so I have no idea what the regulations were. But I mean, there's stuff like that kind of protected Main Street from Wall Street, and those regulations were cut. And there's stuff like the Dodd-Frank Act, which was repealed. So I mean, like, there's banking regulations that they had to follow, and then those are now non-existent. So I would like to see Biden put in regulations for Wall Street again after Trump deregulated them fully.
Yeah, the question is, will he or will this current government put in these regulations? Because now you're dealing with something else. So when Trump removes the regulations, all the other countries are going to do the same thing, because otherwise the Americans have an unfair advantage and they can't deal with that. And these other governments will have to do the same, and they can't even say like, no, we don't want to, because they know they're going to fuck themselves over with it. They don't have the same freedom. So, and now you're going to say like, okay, we're putting in the regulations, but you need to put in the regulations everywhere again. All these other countries need to follow, and there you have the situation that all these big investors in all these other countries will want to say like, no, we want to keep these non-regulations because we can make a lot more money. So yeah, you're dealing with a lot of problems because of it, because you're talking about super big money, and them going back to the old situation is going to be very hard. But yeah.
Well, I mean, the fact is, we put these financial reform regulations in place after much, mostly on part due to the crash in 2008. So, I mean, if you're going to prop the stock market up on a lot of fraud, if you then do add regulations again, I mean, the stock market's going to come crashing down, right?
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, so then probably the most of the regulations have to do with leverage. Like the banks usually have to keep like okay, so they invest with like leverage of like times 100 or something. They only have to keep like 1% reserve for the investment they do. So for every $10 they have, they can invest $1,000 on the stock market, and then it crashes, and your $10 you have on the bank account is gone, right? It just burns up. So much of the regulations probably have to do with keeping certain leverage against that. Like you have to keep like reserves high enough to actually invest. But yeah, the bankers are always able to do that. Like even if you look at the reserves now, these reserves haven't been getting any bigger. If you look at the French banks, for example, they're still around 10%, 11 or 12% reserves, what they have now. So for every $100 they have, they can invest 1,000 still. This is very dangerous, and especially like you're saying with the shorting, the margin calls will be done really fast. They will reach the margin calls because they're out of investment, right?
Right.
Yeah, because they all invested in those shorts, and they made like the leverage super high, and like So they invested like, what was it, like 30 million, 70 million shorts, and probably all of them invested just like with like 10% real money or 5% real money, and it's all going to burn up. It's all gone. All that money is gone. Like.
Well, yeah, and Melvin Capital owes billions of dollars, and they got bailed out by other VCs. I mean,
yeah, going in seconds, you go from billions to zero, to owing money.
right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I don't know. I don't know if Melvin Capital had billions. They probably had a couple millions. Like a couple hundred million. I don't know if they had a billion. But they got bailed out with 2.3 billion.
Okay.
See, we don't really know how much they put in. I haven't seen it, at least. I mean, if somebody saw it, then share it with me. But I haven't seen it. I've been looking just to see. I was curious how much money that Melvin Capital put into GameStop.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. If you say 2.3 billion, and if that's what they needed, okay, so that makes it probably 2 billion in investment losses. Maybe a leverage of 10%, and then they owned 200 million in cash money. They invested that with the leverage, meaning 2 billion in investment. They lost all, have to pay it back, and they get an extra 300 million to get their cash money back and to reinvest. Like, yeah, bailing out is not going to work forever. Behind the scenes, they must have been crying a lot to each other. Yeah, it's still a lot of money. 2 billion. Yeah, I can see. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say that's more money than most of us will see in our lifetime.
Yeah, it is. I have more money than we'll ever need in a lifetime, anyway.
Well, yeah, that's it. I mean, fuck. If I had like $2.3 billion, man, I could do a lot of fucking good for the world.
Yeah, well, we would have a revolution already. You know that. Yeah.
Well, you see what Akon's doing. I mean, like that's the route, and I really love that he is actually like he's putting in the work and initiative to make the world a better place. I mean, like and like he has private investors and everything in his project, but I mean, he started that project with his own money, starting out. So I mean, like he's doing good. He's doing very good for the world, doing what he wants to do in Africa and bringing advanced technology to them to allow them to have a workable monetary system, basically banking the unbanked, but in a way where it's not them being kind of preyed upon by big corporations, big banks. I mean, because Africa is very a lot of the people in Africa are without any form of ability to trade currencies between each other. They actually use, a lot of people don't know this, but they actually use, it's a lot easier for them to get a hold of a card for phone minutes than it is for them to trade any type of currency. So they actually use the phone minutes as currency over in Africa.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But yeah, I mean, I don't know if you've looked into what he's doing and everything with the smart cities in Africa and
Yeah, the solar panels. I know he's been focusing on solar panels, which is a very, very good thing to do.
not only solar panels though, but actually like smart cities, like full on everything, from transportation to smart building design. There's the really weird building design tech that's being tested in Akon's smart city that he's building. The building tech is it's going to sound weird, but the building is able to sway in the wind. They do have it available in like Singapore and some other countries as well. They use a material where the building can kind of bend around things.
Yeah, it's like an earthquake resistant and stuff.
Right? Yeah. Not only just earthquake resistant, but also it can it sways with the wind. Like if the wind is strong, it won't, like such as like a hurricane or tornado, right? It won't destroy the building.
Okay.
It's really freaking weird. But anyway.
Yeah, that's why I just knew he was involved with that solar panel stuff, and like providing like basic energy needs. That's crucial. If you have their basic energy fixed, it helps these people a lot, definitely. And yeah,
Right.
other things like clean water and stuff. You can create all these things with wind and with energy power, water cleaning systems and these things, and that will change the lives of many people.
Right, yeah, that's true. But I mean, like he is one of the only people in Hollywood that I have seen who is actually putting their money where their mouth is, and also putting their energy into actually helping the world. So, bravo to Akon.
Yeah, and if I mean if more people would do that, you would have like create a difference so fast. I mean, there's so much money in Hollywood. If they would start doing that together, you could change Africa in these areas. But they don't. They don't. It's all about being centralized, having your attention all on like L.A. or whatever. Fighting for the most expensive houses where you can literally. These people don't even realize what's going on in the rest of the world, honestly.
Any of them, yeah, I definitely agree with you. There are some who do give a fuck. I mean, but they don't do things like Akon's doing. So
Yeah, I mean, I'm not someone who can complain. I live in a rich country where there is healthcare for everyone, and there are no streets without even a bump in it. So for me, it is I can't complain about anything. But when I travel a few thousand miles to the south and reach Africa, I just pass at Spain, enter in Morocco, and I see a different world. Even Morocco is relatively rich, but you can see the possibilities too there. Like you have like the Sahara Desert, which is like I think it's like the largest desert in the world, and it's all empty. Now, if you would fill it up with like solar panels, you could power Africa. You could power like a part of Europe with it too, and there is a full-time sun, literally. So I don't get like you think about these large-scale projects to change everything.
well, yeah, not only that, but also finance-wise. I mean, Africa does not have numerous banking functions that we have over here in the West that we take for granted. Like they don't have the ability to do like lending and loans and all of that type of stuff. Credit. They don't have. They don't have various different other financial solutions that we do have here in the West. So I mean, if you've ever listened to Charles Hoskinson of the Cardano Foundation and heard him speak about how he wants to essentially revolutionize Africa. I mean, like, he gets it. He understands that there's a whole market out there in Africa that doesn't have the type of functions that we have here in the West, and if you bring that to them, you could revolutionize their society literally overnight.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, and in the past I did do like a Kifa. I don't know if you know that. Like microcredits, right? And I could you can like give money to small business owners in Africa, and this may pay like a small interest on it.
Right. Yeah. They did that in Haiti too. At one point in time, I helped with that a little bit. Not a lot of money, but I mean, transferring from U.S. dollars to Haitian dollars. I mean, it's a lot of money to them. So.
Well, I did it. I gave like money to a barber in Palestine, right? He wanted to start a barber shop. Invested like a few $100 into his stuff, and he repaid everything and sent like a happy picture of himself. So yeah, it seems to work. He has a barbershop now and stuff. So that's the kind of thing. People, you can actually do something with these micro investments in that sense. But there's a lot that has to be done, definitely. And
right. But I mean, that's not possible for people in Africa. They don't have that. That type of systems in place. Most places in Africa do not have those type of revolutionary technologies. Like, hey, I mean, it's funny to call it revolutionary technology, but when it's not. I mean, like microloans and stuff like that. I mean, that's not revolutionary to us, but to them it would be. So I mean, like, when you bring in decentralized finance into Africa, I mean, it'll change everything for them, for loans and everything, and it'll be a big experiment. And these people in Africa, I mean, they would love to be able to have the same things that we have here in the West, and it would offer them so many opportunities, and it would bring people out of poverty. The more important thing is it would bring people out of poverty. So, when we install these types of decentralized finance in Africa and people are able to use it, I mean, for instance, in crypto, I mean, people can earn cryptocurrency online for like, $1 in US dollar value. It is like a fortune in their currency, and it's that type of systems that are changing people's lives and allowing people to move out of poverty in their country. It's like finding a golden ticket.
Of course. And the crowdfunding really helps in that sense to help people in Africa. Yeah, like you said, I wish more of these wealthy people would actually do that, and not just focus on projects here in the West, to crowdfund projects here in the West. Like, push if you really want something value for your money, give it to these people, because you change their lives. You can literally save lives with it, right? I mean, you're literally saving lives with it. People live in poverty, but they do want to change their lives, and these people are very eager to change their lives too. And I saw that guy too. It was like a barber, and I saw what the others, they were like they made clothes and stuff, and they were farmers, and they need these tiny amounts. Like if you look at it, even like at Kiva, for example, if you look at it, it's tiny amounts they need. It's like a few hundred or a few $1,000 total, and like anyone can like invest in it. You can literally like, invest like $10 in it. So yeah, and for them it saves their lives. And I'm thinking like this crowdfunding needs to go to like Yemen and these opportunities too, because these people provide services to the entire community they live in. Yeah. Yeah, like you said, like what like a dollar is worth in these areas. And so like what was it? I think it was like Namibia or something, if I'm correct. To sleep in a hotel at night costs 16 cents. And I think it was 12 cents to buy like food for a day there. Can you imagine that? Like, so that's $12 for 10 days. It's $36 a month, and you can feed someone an entire month there. I mean, I'm talking like good food and stuff, right? Like 3 dinners a day and stuff. Three times food.
Right. Yeah.
So yeah, and a hotel room like was like 16 cents a night. Can you imagine that? Like even these prices. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, easy it is to save lives actually, to have people have a roof over their head. You have what is it, 60 cents, 160 is $3.60 for no $4.80 for a monthly hotel. You can sleep in a hotel for $4.80 a month, right? So yeah, 30 days, 16 cents. $4.80 for a month, a roof over their heads in a basic hotel, but at least they can sleep in a hotel. For $50 you can have 10 people have a roof over their heads.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like the difference in value is incredible.
Yeah. To me, sometimes it's disgusting if you think about it that people don't actually do that, right? I put my money in some project here in the West, in some company, right? And I can save lives directly. No way. That's why I never send money to go to any fundraisers, except when it's for Yemen, for example, or Palestine.
Well, yeah, that's the thing, because all the fundraisers take the money, most of the money, for operating costs and blah blah blah, and then the trickles down to the actual people that the funds are for. So I mean, that's typical, and like where I understand what you're saying. I mean, not all funds are like that, but I mean, like the Red Cross and stuff like that, they are fucking thieves.
They are fucking thieves. I've seen what they make. These managers make a $200,000 a year, and that's taken off the funds they receive first. So they receive donations from all over the world, and then they first take off the $200,000 a year for some manager, and like what the leftovers are given to the actual needed stuff. Yeah, fuck that. Really, that's why I don't ever help with any fucking GoFundMe or fundraiser that's done here in the West. These people disgust me. I only send it to like if it's made for Yemen or made for whatever African country that actually needs help, and when I see that they're actually doing it, because I know this guy from Humanity Voice in Yemen, he posts every day, all day he posts for Yemen, right? And in the last month he got like $500 total on his GoFundMe, and he keeps every day he keeps posting, right? And then he shows me these pictures. This guy goes out himself and he brings these food packages to these people himself, and these people are so thankful for it, right? And it is he can do so much with just these $500. I'm thinking like, if I ever have like a shitload of money, I'm giving it to this guy. I'm not giving it anywhere else. Fuck that. It's just kind of from a humanitarian perspective and a human rights perspective. There's not just human rights for people here in the West. Like that is not how I think. Like everyone in the world needs the same rights, and it's just really unfair. I see GoFundMe's every day for the weirdest stuff that is already existing. Like I don't, you know what I'm pointing at, AK. So I'm, I don't support that stuff. Like only for people who actually need it. Really.
Right. I understand what you're saying. When it comes to donations and giving to people who really actually need it, I mean, like that's where the money should go. When you have to donate, or when you want to donate, and you don't have to donate, but when you want to donate, you should look for those individuals who are doing deeds like that, and not the organizations, because the organizations take a bit off the top. So.
Yeah, that too. And even these percentages they take off the top, you can save human lives with. Well, that is disgusting. Yeah. Yeah, I know the Red Cross is very bad. Pretty much all these big UN organizations all do the same thing. It's sad to see that. Because you can actually find the records of what these people make at the top. And that is a lot of money. So yeah, and I see in the chat too, someone says... yeah, it was Humanity Voice. He's 100% legend. Yeah, this guy. These people go out themselves. You can see them, and they go out to these poor people who really need it, and they literally save lives, literally. You send him a few bucks, they save lives with it. They buy antibiotics. German antibiotics get sent to them, and they literally. He goes out, maybe gives food to like 20, 30 people, and antibiotics and stuff. And you can see it. And he only gets a few $100. No one supports it. People send their money to bullshit projects, and they don't send it to people like that. And he and his friends, they keep spamming social media 24/7. All our chats. I added him in all the anonymous chats. He keeps spamming it. Some of us share it. Yeah, like sometimes you feel like
when I see it. I mean, I'm in so many chats and everything, and people share so much shit, and I'm busy myself, so I mean, like I share things as I see it, but I've shared his tweets a few times. I mean, because I saw he's doing like good work. Like he's not being a couch activist. I mean, like there's that term, but I mean, like he's actually putting in work and doing something. So I mean,
these couch activists. I know what you mean. We all know who they are. They get fatter every day, and they're not doing anything. So yeah, it's like I can just safely say that we know who they are. It's just these people go out and they go into the scene and they show it to us. And if I had the money, I would send everything to them. But I just don't have it. So I make money, and what I have left, I will give to them. But yeah, if I had millions, I would give everything away to them. I don't care about it. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure $1 million would be. You'd probably feed the whole village, and then some for like maybe like a few years. Like.
Yeah, I know, but okay. So there is this thing like, okay, so what do you want to achieve in life? Like some people want to like climb a huge mountain or whatever, right? Or they want to like sail on like the seas and stuff. They want to travel to places. But the fact is, if you save thousands of children from starvation, I mean, isn't that like a thing you want to like accomplish in life? To me, it is an accomplishment in life. I can say to myself, like, at least I did something in my life, right? I mean, that is a failure.
Well, I mean, you give people the opportunity to better their own lives, and doing that, I mean, what am I looking for? the accomplishment in that is from you don't really need anything from that per se. Like it's just the fact that you helped other people, and that makes you feel good about yourself in general, because that you saved thousands of kids. I mean, yeah. So I agree with you. Like having $1 million or something like that and giving it to the charity. I think that would be a great way to do things. And like the fact that we see like these large corporations like Facebook could do a lot of fucking good for the world if they took not even like 10% of everything they made and donated it somewhere,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but this is a psychological thing. Like how people need to make that step for themselves too, right? Okay, so if you have like children and they'll ask you like, yeah, did you ever go to LA on the beaches and stuff and walk around there in this paradise stuff? And you can just say like, no, but I chose to save 1,000 kids from starvation, and that's why I couldn't pay to go there. I mean, look at that, how your children will react to that, right?
Okay, so once you reach wealth, right? Unless you're really stupid, you're not going to like giving away $1 million is not going to kill you. Once unless it's your first million and you give it away. But I mean, once you have the money, you use that money to work for you. And when you have money working for you, that's when you would be able to give money, like, because if you have $1 million working for you, how much do you think of that you could double or triple? I mean,
of course, it's easy in that sense. Usually, it would be just in the past. It would be putting it on a bank and getting interest on it, right? But you don't really get interest on a bank anymore, so you invest it in other stuff. But in the past, you would get like a 4% interest or something, and when you have $1 million, that 4% is 40,000 a year. Technically, you can live from that. I mean, so that's already enough to live from. And if you have 2 million, that would be 80,000. You can live from the 40,000. You can invest 40,000 a year into whatever. So yeah, you can give that away safely without losing a thing. But yeah, you need something else than a bank these days. But yeah.
Well, as we went through this the last show. I mean, I said high interest bank account 0.050%, not even 1% they're giving you. Crypto, you could make fucking in just yield, like, using the Celsius app or finding another app that you could use. But I would recommend Celsius because it's made by Alex Majinsky, who is the founder of the VoIP protocol. Like, he's not going to run with your money. So, I mean, like, putting money into a yield program in crypto, you can get like 7% to 25% a year, depending on what cryptocurrency and all that. But plus, on top of that, not only are you gaining more crypto, but also the cryptocurrency is going up in value. So, I mean, you can gain a lot of fucking money just by using crypto over the banking system. And I mean, a lot of us have been doing that for like the past couple of years. I mean, I've been living basically off of just cryptocurrency and very sparingly using a bank account. I mean, for 2017, I wasn't doing as well as I am now. I mean, I was just living off of Steemit. Like, at the time, I mean, Steemit was booming. I was getting like fucking like $100 to $200 a post. One blog post. One blog post where I normally get like $25 from working with like an alternative media organization to getting like $100 to $200 a post. So I mean, like at that time, I was just living off of Steam it, and it was going up in value and everything, and I was like quote unquote crypto rich. So I mean, like the power of cryptocurrency is just amazing. When you actually start to use it for what it is. I mean, when you understand what cryptocurrency is and how you can use it, to like when you can flip crypto into another cryptocurrency and make a huge gain, like I just did the other day, with like 2,500, and now it's like 5K. I mean, in a week, like you can't do that in any other market, and
Can't confirm or deny. Can't confirm or deny ground control, making botnets and mining XMR. But I know some are doing that.
Well, yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, mining XMR. I mean, but the thing is, like, Monero's not even private. It's fully traceable, even if you're fucking mining.
Yeah, now it is. Yeah, but the difficulty is too high to mount it on single on CPUs. It gets harder, ground control. Well, we had, what was it, Masari? Yeah.
Yeah, years ago. I mean, years ago you were able to mine Monero on a CPU. I mean, but I mean now it's a lot harder, and as time goes on, it's going to get harder and harder to mine, and that takes it from the protocols of the Bitcoin protocol of where they have the similar thing. It's hash rate difficulty. As the hash rate difficulty goes up, the mining difficulty goes up. So I mean.
I had what was it? Masari has had the same protocol as Monero, pretty much. Had like a lower difficulty. And was it other was Samurai?
Masari is a cryptocurrency firm where they rate cryptocurrencies.
Yeah.
So I don't know what you're talking about, but anyway, like.
Yeah, there was Masari is also a cryptocurrency. I mean, it was like worth like 8 cents or something.
Really? I'll have to look it up.
Yeah, check it out. It has the Monero protocol. And was another one was what is it? A Samurai coin, I think, with a K. Also was at the same protocol.
Well, Masari is not listed on CoinGecko, so that's that one. What was the other? Samurai?
Maybe it crashed, Masari. I wouldn't be surprised by it. I think it was like a pump and dump scheme anyway, but let me see.
Yeah, probably. Samurai's still around.
Yeah, look, it is on CoinMarketCap, Masari, by the way. You're saying?
Really?
Yeah. You should get the. Yeah, it is 1 cent now. 1.9 cents it is. It went up 8.85% today. Check it at the CoinMarketCap. With a Masari.
Oh, I was spelling it wrong.
Yeah, it has about the same supply as Monero, I think. It has about 14 million supply MSR.
Yeah, CoinGecko has it too. I just looked it up just to see here. But anyway, like, I mean, there's so much opportunity in these cryptocurrency markets that for people in third world countries, they make like $5-10 on some website and then flip that into a cryptocurrency with a low market cap, and then it shoots up. I mean, all of a sudden they have $500, and then they flip that into another crypto. And that's how you do it. Like.
Yeah.
And to them, like $5,000 is a lot more money than it is to me.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, I see Masari. It's 0.019. It's up 27.9% today.
Okay. pretty good, right?
Pretty good, right?
Look at the market cap; it's only like 270k. I mean, you can pretty much double it yourself. If you want to.
I don't like the market cap doesn't bother me. What bothers me is the fact that it only has $500 in volume.
Yeah, that's nothing.
Yeah, that's basically dead, man. That's a dead project.
Yeah, it is on some market.
Oh, they only have one market where it's trading. That's why it's only trade over. So that's why it's only trading on one market. That's
I see it on Cracks24. I'm not sure if you know that one. And South Exchange, according to CoinMarketCap, right? I mean,
yeah, but it has like no volume on it, so it doesn't look like it's actually trading on there.
no.
But yeah, but there's a coin that was made by Annans. It's called Pirate Coin, I think. Let me just make sure it's called Pirate. It's the tickers are Pirate Chain. That's what it's called. Pirate Chain. Supposedly supposed to be better than Monero.
Okay.
We shall see.
I'm actually going to check because I see they made a new wallet for Masari. I'm actually going to check what I have in Masari because I think I have a lot of Masari. Just saying.
I would get fucking rid of it and get something that actually is valuable because you won't be able to sell it soon.
Is that Trade Ogre? Is that easy to trade on there? I never used that.
I've never used it either. I have no idea.
Okay, I might sell it all.
I've mostly like used Uniswap and I've mostly used Uniswap because I can't use like centralized exchanges because the DMV will not let me renew my ID. Like they're closed because of the pandemic, so I can't go to the fucking DMV to get a new ID. So I can't use an ID for joining a centralized crypto exchange. So I've mostly just been trading on fucking decentralized Uniswap with ERC20s. So yeah.
And Prime XBT you can do.
That's more of a derivative exchange. It's not a spot for trading crypto. You can only trade derivatives, and it's only select cryptocurrency derivatives.
Yeah, a few only. Yeah, US, Ethereum, BTC, Litecoin. You can do XRP and XAG too. XAU. I still usually do forex, you know that. So for me, it is.
Right. Yeah, I stopped trading like that. I trade spot and kind of just flip money from crypto to crypto. Usually it's you swap to Ethereum, you grab the Ethereum, and then flip into a lower cap crypto.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I can't get a grasp on the quick crypto trading in that sense. It's very hard for me using the leverage systems for forex. As being kind of like a mathematician is easy for me, but on crypto, it is very difficult. It's too volatile, and I can't predict it well. It's like I can't predict it. It just doesn't make sense to me. I make mistakes all the time, and the fees are relatively high on it. And on Prime XBT, I'm using the fees on fiat currencies is pretty much nothing, and they're volatile too, but very predictable for me. Being that I do recognize trends and these things. So. But no, I get where you're coming from. I mean, crypto is probably going to be the future in that sense. But the volatility doesn't allow me to keep long investments on the leverage market in crypto. It's too volatile. You lose like money out of nowhere. Suddenly your entire margin is gone. So you need another way.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you can't. Okay, so if you try day trading crypto, you will get fucking wrecked.
Yeah, I tried it and I got wrecked every time.
Well, see,
Yeah.
you can't. You have to swing trade crypto. You can't just day trade crypto. Like, it does not work like that. You have to trade based off of technical analysis and based off of breaking of support and breaking of resistance. I mean, and you don't want to always be in a trade. Like, you don't want to always be in a trade in crypto. You want to enter in a trade when confirmation happens and get out of a trade. You know, like, it's more strategic in my opinion than stock market trading.
And I can't recognize the support levels. Like you always say, like, yeah, okay, so there is this support point, and then with crypto, it breaks the support points every time. Like whether it's going up.
No, it bounces. Like, okay, so support right now for Bitcoin is at 28 and I think it's like 2650. So it's along that range. So a lot of people are saying that we're going to go down and touch that and then go up. But we could just break out now and it could negate it. And that's the thing. I mean, when you're trading based off of potential possibilities, not definitives.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's hard to trade like that. That's why I prefer trading between Ethereum assets and looking for those opportunities where there's going to be a big pump in a altcoin, and then getting out and then flipping it into another altcoin. And the way you do that is based off of market cap, and you look for low market cap coins and medium market cap coins, and if you make a win on a medium market cap coin and you go up, say, like 20% or something, you take your original investment out, let it run with whatever's left, and then flip that original investment back into lower market cap coins, and then you just rinse, wash, repeat. I mean, it's the easiest way to make money in cryptocurrency. I mean, I've been doing it for years now, but I mean, more recently, just last year and this year, and I made a lot of fucking money already this year. I mean,
Okay. Yeah, it's hard to get accustomed to, but yeah, I do keep something in Bitcoin and Litecoin. I have a few blocks.
Ethereum is where the big gains are going to be made this cycle, and that's the reason being is they have a lot of things coming, plus Ethereum 2.0, and the institutional investors are interested in Bitcoin and Ethereum. They're not interested in anything else right now. So Ethereum is where you're going to make the biggest gains, and it's the easiest because you can put in right now like 500 and you will get like half of Ethereum. like half of an Ethereum, right?
Yeah, and Bitcoin is not usable for like the big market, right? Because of the transaction speed and transaction limit.
Well, yeah, such a slow transaction speed. It's more of a store of value. I
Yeah.
mean, they do have Lightning Network and everything, but that's an external solution, and it's not up to par yet. And I mean, honestly, like it's a great store of value. It keeps going up, but Ethereum the programmable digital dollar. It's going to be used for a lot of fiat stable coins, like it or not. It's going to be used for decentralized finance, a lot of decentralized finance protocols, and there's a lot going on with Ethereum. So I mean, all that locked up value that is currently in DeFi and everything, it's like $20 billion. I mean, it's ridiculous. So Ethereum is where it's going to the price is going to go soaring. And I mean, like a lot of us think that Ethereum is going to go to like $10,000, $20,000 within a short time frame of the by the end of the year or in the next couple of years. I mean, and if that happens, I mean, you could buy 10 Ethereum now. I mean, and you could make $20,000 very easily.
Yeah. I've seen that too, and I think it will beat the actual Bitcoin on that. Yeah.
It did last year, and it did the years before. Why wouldn't it? Why wouldn't it keep going?
Yeah. It makes sense though. But that's because Bitcoin is not good for for a real economy stuff. It's the amount of transactions.
Correction. If you had 10 Ethereum and it was worth $20,000, you would get a return of $200,000.
Yeah.
I did the wrong math. I said 20,000. No, it's another zero. I don't know why I thought that. I was stupid of me. That was really dumb. But anyway, yeah. So I mean, you buy 10 Ethereum worth of. What is that now? Like it's okay. So most people don't have this, but anyway, it's $13,000 right now to buy 10 Ethereum, essentially. So I mean, you buy 10 Ethereum, and that could go turn up to being $200,000. Would that $13,000 be worth it? Yes.
Yeah, okay. You can buy 5. You can still make 100,000. I mean, yeah.
Yeah, exactly, and that's a lot cheaper too. It's like 6,500. So I mean, most people don't have 6,500 to put in crypto. So I mean, regardless, I mean, like if you have 6,500 and you throw it into cryptocurrency, I mean, you could.
See, I told you I was right. I told you I was right. I told you this morning I invested in this fiat stuff, right? And I was right. My prediction was right. The market is going to open soon, and it's going up wild already. You will see my trade.
But for euro?
Yeah, euro against the US dollar is going up now. You will see my trade soon.
Oh yeah, the US dollar's fucking plunging, dude. Like.
See, I do fiat currency still, but I do it from crypto. So I have this crypto on the wallet, and then I invest in fiat currencies with it, and then it pays out in crypto. And I
yeah,
knew,
it's beautiful.
I knew I was right. Like, literally, I only have 3 out of 6 investments going are profitable now. I can just cash them out right now. So yeah. This is serious. Like, I mean, don't have to work anymore to do that. Like, literally, you have to do. I don't have to do anything else anymore if I would just do this full time. So, yeah.
I mean, if you're good at it, yeah. If you're good and actually trade like that, yeah, you can.
Yeah, well, in that sense, I'm a mathematician and I can recognize trends, so it's not that hard.
Well, bravo to you. I mean, like, day trading fucking anything is just ridiculous. I mean,
It's hard, definitely. Yeah.
there's a reason, there's a reason why there's a certain amount of rich people and poor people. I mean, if everybody knew how to trade, I mean, there would it'd be a lot different.
Well, I do the co-fasting thing. So on Prime XBT, I don't use my own name, right, to trade, or even my known anon name or whatever. I have a completely anonymous thing going on there. But you can do co-fasting. That means you can actually you can follow people and do that. You can invest like an amount in it, and you will copy the exact trade someone does.
Yeah, it's a pretty cool feature that they came out with.
Yeah, but you can do
And if you find the right people and get into their trading before it closes, I mean, you can make a lot of money doing that.
Nefarious says I could drop that 13k right now, but I have no idea on anything crypto. Well, AK knows everything about crypto. I'm a completely noob at it. I do know how to invest when it is low in value. But that's usually the right move because it seems to be so volatile. It always goes up again and goes down again. It's very popular with a certain group of investors.
Yeah, it just depends on your own like plan. Are you investing for the next couple years? Are you investing for the next couple months? Are you short term, or are you investing for the next year? I mean, me personally, I'm just investing for long term and just accumulating everything that I can that I kind of see that's going to go up in value and is new technology based and stuff like that. I mean, I look for opportunities in the cryptocurrency market. I'm very connected with a lot of fucking people. Like my industry was alternative media, and then I jumped into crypto, and like professionally and everything. I work with a lot of big crypto YouTubers, and also working with putting crypto projects on TV and stuff like that. So, I mean, I know the cryptocurrency market very well. A lot of connected to a lot of fucking people in crypto.
Yeah, you pretty much know everyone in the scene and stuff.
Yeah, I know a lot of the big YouTubers and everything, and I talk to a lot of them. And yeah, I mean, like we all kind of like look for the next big projects and stuff like that, and a lot of this is finding the next big thing before it's big. Like, and it's somewhat hard to do. But I mean, when you make money in crypto and you're able to kind of like throw like $250, $500 here and there, I mean, when you're able to do that, I mean, and you increase your chances of picking something big. I mean, when it goes up, and you can realize your gains and just keep flipping and just keep going into other projects. I mean, it's the easiest market to make money in, like, in my opinion, at least. I mean, like, yeah, there's a lot of scams, but I mean, if you follow the rules of just doing your own research and looking into things and making sure the teams are legit for these projects and finding those real gems that are actually working with like real world companies, like how I recommended Zero Chain not too long ago on Twitter, and I was talking about it and saying like these guys have partnerships with like Oracle and Amazon AWS and all other different companies. I mean, you find those big companies in the cryptocurrency space that haven't like listed on a big exchange yet, and you could make a lot of fucking money.
Yeah. Yeah, okay, and one disclaimer to give is that you should only invest money you can lose, right? You wouldn't die from it if you lose it.
Right, yeah, don't invest your life savings. Like, you can make a lot of fucking money, but that doesn't mean that you should put in money that you can't afford to lose to live with. I mean, it's different for me because I work in this industry and I get paid in crypto, and just as the market goes up, I mean, I'm fine, but most people aren't like me and working in the industry and getting paid in cryptocurrency and having it go up. So, I mean...
Hey, what do you think about... Sorry.
No, I was just going to say, definitely don't invest something that you can't afford to lose. And you have to have fucking iron hands of steel in this market. Like, it will throw you to a point where you want to panic sell, and you just have to grit your teeth and realize that the markets go up, the markets go down, it'll go back up. And you have to know when to get out. Like, and I don't think it's the time to get out, but some people are saying that 40K was the top for Bitcoin. I don't personally believe that. Looking at like on-chain indicators and stuff like that online for Bitcoin, and on-chain indicators are pointing that a lot of people are buying Bitcoin. So I don't think it's the top. I think it'll go back up. Not worried about it.
Well, it seems to be turning now into like a legitimate hideout for investors. When like the market goes bad, when the stock market goes bad, or the financial market, they jump on crypto now. And in the past, it used to be just like silver, gold, or coffee or whatever. But now they're jumping in the crypto more and more. So definitely, I think you can see spikes going up where it even reaches maybe 1 million. But it will fall down again. But you can see spikes like that because when the real stock market people jump on there as a hideout, they will invest such large amounts that you will be shocked by how quickly it goes up.
Yeah.
Yeah, because now it becomes like a legitimate. I can see like it went up to like $1 trillion in market value, and then so then you're getting close to like the big guys, right? I mean, like crypto is big, but if you look at the size of the gold market, for example, the gold market is a lot bigger, because that's still like the preferred hideout for investors. Like the stock market crashes, you jump quickly in gold, you secure your investments, and by all jumping in gold, you make it spike up. And then with crypto, it can go even faster, and you can see it go up to like 1 million for crypto, or even more, right? I mean, the potential is unlimited because the amount of coins is limited. So yeah.
Well, yeah, for Bitcoin, the amount of coins is 21 million. So I mean, it's a small supply for everybody in the world. Like all the people that are jumping into crypto. I mean, millions of people. It's a small supply, and you have to understand that. There's only 18 million or so that are circulating, but out of those 18 million, let's cut out, say, 3 to 5 million because they've been lost over the years, or, people forgot their wallet keys and everything. So, I mean, let's just say, like, 3 to 5 million of that is out of supply. I mean, so...
Yeah. Okay, so if you consider Bitcoin purely an investment tool, okay, so look at, I just checked it just to make sure I give the right numbers. Like the gold investment market is around 7.3 trillion. This is 2018 numbers. You can say like it is maybe 8 or 9 trillion now. So, and Bitcoin reached, or the total crypto market reached like 1 trillion in value. Now, if investors would switch to treating crypto like they treat gold now like jumping into it when something goes wrong. Yeah, then you can do it at least 5 or 6 times what it is now. So just saying.
Right, because the market cap of Bitcoin is not even half of gold yet.
No, I mean technically the gold is 7.3 trillion. So.
Well, I think it's like 9 or 10 trillion now.
I wouldn't
something like that. Something like that. But anyway, like the point is that Bitcoin's not even $1 trillion in its market cap. Like
no, it's 592 billion. So it's about a little over half a trillion.
Right.
So that means, if it would be treated exactly the same as gold, it means you can do it 14 times the current value. Well, let's safely say you can do it 10 times the value it has now, when investors treat it just like gold. So yeah, then you can already estimate, because it's what it says now. It's 31,000 in dollars. Well, then it will be 317,000 in value if it reaches that size.
Right, and like if you look at it like that, I mean, putting like $5,000 into Bitcoin isn't really that big of a deal. I mean, I would wait to see the market stabilize. I wouldn't just go gung-ho and jump in right now, because it might go lower, and if it goes lower, you can get more crypto for your money than just jumping in right now. I mean, right now, you got to know when to jump in the market, and a good way to know that is seeing support being established at a price point, or consolidation happening. Because if you just jump in at any moment, you could get wrecked. So, I mean, the best way to jump into crypto is really just dollar cost averaging at first, and just getting a feel for it, how everything goes, and starting to understand the market. It's better to learn and get education before just jumping into something in anything in life, but especially when you're investing your own money into some asset class. You want to learn about the asset. You want to actually know what you're putting your money into. And, that's what I do. I spend basically every single day now, because I'm not writing any more like politics stuff. I'm mostly just writing cryptocurrency stuff, because we got fucking completely censored and shadow banned on Twitter and not Twitter. Well, Twitter too, but I meant Facebook, for various different alternative media organizations. So, we no longer have that same job anymore. We can't. A lot of us are getting pushed out, and there's a lot of people who are losing their jobs where they don't have anything else. They're not like me. They don't have the same connections and charisma to do whatever, and just kind of get by and have the know-how to be able to make money online and do whatever the fuck I want. I mean, these other writers and stuff, like, they're not as knowledgeable, and they're just they're kind of screwed, and it's fucked up. I know one person who ran an alternative media organization who ended up going homeless because of Facebook decided that they were going to destroy their page and everything that they worked for years, So it's fucked up what they're doing. It's seriously fucked up what they're doing. And it kind of pushed me away from being a political writer and exposing corruption and stuff like that. I mean, I'm still working on some things, but just for being able to survive as a human being, I have to not write political stuff because it's just not worth my time.
Yeah, that's a sad story, of course. I mean, the list goes on and on, right? You have like activist post, anti-war, free thought project. Pretty much lost everything. These people on Facebook.
Yeah. Those are a number of different ones that have been banned. I mean, it's also Jason. Jason Basler. I'm friends with the guy. I talked to him, and they got fucked. Like Free Thought Project, they got fucked bad. A lot of people don't realize. A lot of us in the alternative media, we're friends. We're friendly with each other. We talk to each other. Some of us have issues with others, but for the most part, most of us are friendly with each other. I don't really have any like drama with anybody personally myself. I do know there's some people who do, but yeah, like these big social companies have destroyed things that we built and that we were using to spread information to people, and it's like it's a free market. Like if people want to read something that somebody writes, then that's up to them. I mean, it's not you shouldn't be able to control the flow of information. And the thing is, they're calling things that are fake news that aren't fake news, and they're just abusing their power that they have. They have a very powerful position using these platforms to censor us and information. And the thing is, a lot of these alternative organizations for media, they promoted a lot of activist organizations, and that's not there anymore. That's gone too. So there's a lot that has changed over the past couple years with the censorship of alternative media organizations, and we had like the whole thing with the Iraq weapons of mass destruction, where the mainstream media was just promoting and parroting that there was weapons of mass destruction in Iraq, parroting the Bush administration's propaganda narrative, and nobody stood up to them except for the alternative media. Who's going to be there to stand up against them for Iran or another country? Nobody. They have killed, we have a anti-war group that we run, and some of us have went to meetings in the past together, but besides that, I mean, we don't have a way to get that information out there now. They've shut us off. They've decided that we should not have a voice, that we cannot be messengers for the people, essentially. Even though that there's no rule against who can and can't be a journalist, it's just so ridiculous, and it's insane for a lot of people who work their asses off and put their whole life into building something like that, and then having it destroyed and ripped from them. So, I mean, for me, I mean, after the whole adpocalypse thing happened with like Facebook and YouTube and Amazon ads and Google ads, where they started cutting our ad revenue and banning us from their ad networks and everything, so we couldn't get ad share revenue, and started to slowly kill us. I mean, I decided that I was going to stand up and do something about it, and I mean, it's taken fucking 4 years, but the project that I've been working on, SoMe, is my way of fighting back. I mean, it's so difficult, like with all these people being censored and removed, but also watching their revenue. Like a lot of these people depended on revenue to survive and eat, and some of them are now suffering. I know multiple people who are in positions where they might have to shut down their alternative media. I know people who've cut back on writers because they can't afford to pay for the writers, so the writers themselves lose their job. It's a difficult situation, and I want to help it because if not, who the fuck is going to be the messenger there to expose real propaganda when it happens under the Biden administration? And that's what they've been doing this whole entire time under Trump, and before that was just going after the alternative media.
Yeah, it's a sad story, right? I mean, yeah, it's so necessary now.
Especially with Julian Assange in prison. I mean, we speak out on Assange, and what do? They censor us more. They destroy our accounts. They went after the Free Thought Project. They got their account back. They posted something about Assange. They're now locked out of their account for 72 hours or whatever the fuck it was. I mean, it's ridiculous. It's abuse of fucking admins. That's what it is. It's abuse of fucking admins who have no right being a admin controlling the information flow on a social media platform.
Yeah, because that's the problem now. These social media platforms became so big, they become like the central outlets to do anything. That's why I always advocated for decentralize your accounts, join all these different social media. I mean, even having SoMe as an example, but also like Mastodon, and just join all these platforms and find a way to get your messages out quickly on these different platforms. So decentralize everything, because we need to decentralize all the social media and not have like one or two or three huge ones controlling everything, because they're abusing it. And you have now Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube pretty much running the scene. And in Russia, okay, you have vk.com in the Russian area.
Right, and they control the flow of information, and that's what's happening here. And we're seeing YouTube decide what is and isn't allowed as far as education goes. They just recently decided that people who post tutorials online about how to rip streams or various other different things, they're going to ban the accounts and remove the videos. So, I mean, we're witnessing not only just the censorship of people and ideologies, but also the censorship of information itself. And people don't understand this. I keep fucking saying it. And it's so ridiculous when people come back at me and say, "Oh, well, you support white supremacists." No, I don't. I support free speech, and if you go after the idiot that is posting on social media about racial supremacy, and you open that door, they can go after somebody on the left, and we've now seen it happen. They went after the far right. They now went after the far left, Antifa. They don't understand that when you open a door for these social media companies, it enables them to go after everybody, not just the one group that you hate or that you think shouldn't be allowed to speak. I mean, years ago we had tons of Annans going after Nazis, right? Mm-hmm. Like, they were public. They were saying whatever the fuck they wanted to say online. Fine. There was a consequence for that. Annans went after them, right? But we didn't have the same mindset of let's cancel culture accounts that are Nazis and going after
No, we
like,
wanted them to be there to expose them. That was the
Right,
goal.
that
We
was
wanted
the
to have,
goal.
have them exposed in public, and we didn't want them to be invisible. We wanted to expose them in public and show that the
Right,
whole
sure.
world how fucked up they were. That's what the goal was.
Exactly, and the thing is, like, even so, like, there'd be anons that would hack the accounts, right? And that's fine, all good and dandy. Their accounts there, you would hack the account, fucking change it into fucking goatsy on the top avatar or whatever. And I mean, like, it's a troll, but I mean, like. The thing is, like, that mindset of our generations, the generation now has now changed into let's censor everything and let's it's just so disgusting to watch. I mean, like,
Well, do these generations realize that they are actually becoming what they were fighting? Because I had this discussion. This is okay. This is not against Antifa as a whole, but I had because that's not a group. It's just anti-fascism, right? But there is some Antifa. I tried to explain that one big thing that happened when the Nazis invaded our country was that they started burning books and press, and they called it Lugenpresse. And this was all press. This was not like the one voice press. This was all press. Because they saw press as a risk, and they wanted only their own press to exist. And press on the left and the right, they didn't want it. No lefty press, no righty press. They don't care about it. They only want their press. And whether you are extreme left, anti-Nazi, anti-racism, all these things, or whether you are extreme right, they wanted everything gone, because they only wanted their party press to exist. And that's what you have to realize. They're not on your side at all. They want to pretend to be on your side so you help them do certain stuff, but then they're going to turn against you. And the danger is not that weird ass Nazi who's on the street who looks at you angry, but the danger is the institutional fascism, institutional Orwellianism.
Giving them that door, opening that door. It's a door that is now open to you as well, and the more people that get censored, that door gets wider and wider. And like, it's so funny because like, I'm being proven right over and over again with this. It's like, with Reddit, right? They just recently ban and then unban the Wallstreet Bets account. What the fuck did they do? Oh no, they worked against Wall Street. Oh, is that a new terms of service that I didn't see? Abuse? Oh, well, wait, let's see. Their terms of service, they have it basically so they can do, they can get rid of whatever they want. That's the things with these services, is they have it so they can delete whatever account that they want. Oh, well, it's our service that you're using for this, and we don't support it, so we're going to disable your account. And the way you get away from that is decentralized social media. And that's where we're working towards with Somi. It'll take years, but we'll get it. We'll get it done. It'll take fucking years because the protocols don't exist yet. There's no protocol out there to fully decentralize social media. We basically have to create them ourselves with the help from others. That's all I'll say on that. This project has expanded over what it was months ago. Now it's huge because a lot of people see what the fuck is going on, and we have to fight back. And if we don't fight back, we're going to lose a lot more than just our accounts. We're going to lose our freedoms. And, like, an old friend always said to me, code your freedom. I'm not going to say who that is, but I guess a lot of people can probably figure out who the hell that is. But it's a pretty big hacker anyway. But anyway, used to say code your freedom, and that's literally what needs to be done now. Is we need to start building alternatives. We need to start working together, not against each other. For Sony, we're allowing the cross posting protocol for cross posting to various different networks, including Twitter, Facebook, all of them, and also alternative social media sites. And that's the way you do it, because you can decentralize your post in one single platform, similar to Hootsuite, and just get your message out everywhere all at once. And that's what we need to start doing, is just, as Mark said, joining as many of these social media platforms as we can, building up followings on them, and decentralizing our messages.
Yeah, because that also shows a message to the few big ones that we don't depend on them. We're everywhere, and they can just be pushed away when we want them to. Because we're on all the social media, and if they don't give us the same rights as the other non-censoring social media do, then they're pretty much going to be pushed out of the market. But you just join all the social media and use everything actively. And also, Truth Cowgirl, I'm reading everything you're saying, but I'm not logged into the YouTube, so I can't reply directly in the chat to you, but reading everything you're saying. And just real quickly, she says, build your own contact network, quit using the enemy and expecting it to be judicial. They're private publications and they can do whatever they want. Yeah, but they have catered to us as public marketplaces, and that's how they dragged everyone in. They are private, but yeah.
Well, that's fine. Okay, they're private. That's fine. All right. Well, so we'll build something fucking else, and we'll give them a run for their money, and that's the plan. And we actually have a shot doing this, because with all of these alternative social media sites, the one thing that they've been fucking missing this entire time is the marketing teams to actually push them. Parler kind of got lucky because they got endorsed by political people, so it helped them to push the network. But at the same time, they didn't remove violent post. And you can have a fully decentralized social media site where there's no violent post. I mean, the thing is, they could have implemented an algorithm just preventing people from posting violence, and you could still have free speech. Violence is not free speech. Violence impedes upon someone's free speech. So, all these people saying about how, oh, well, if you want free speech, then you have to allow violent posts. It's no, if you allow violent posts, you're literally allowing people to attack other people's free speech. So, I mean, violent intimidation and threats is threats. It's not free speech. So you can have a debate with somebody and not threaten to fucking kill them, or as I read with Parler, rape their children and rape their grandchildren and rape, and then kill them, and yeah, it was pretty bad.
Yeah.
But that's what they allowed. I mean.
Yeah, we had a discussion about that too. Were they actually defending free speech, or were they connecting free speech to illegal speech, making all of it illegal? It's like what I said about that car, right? And like I said, I said yeah, I defend the right to drive cars, so I'm allowed to drive over people, right? Yeah.
Yeah, that's a great fucking metaphor. I remember when you said that the other week.
That's what they were doing. They were connecting free speech to illegal speech, and that's very bad. Like, you have to just, okay, you defend free speech, but the moment you break another law, is no longer free speech. Like, there are clear discrimination laws, for example, and when you hit that limit, you can just stop it. Fine. That's punishable by law. So yeah.
Well, yeah, but if you're running in the U.S., I mean, there's laws that are there to protect free speech. So you can say an idea as long as it's not connected to violence. So you can say you hate like any race or any type of sexuality without having the post removed. I mean, and the way you do that is you allow the network itself to moderate, and if you add that on top of monetization, as we did with Somi, I mean, you'll have less and less real racist people that are joining platforms like that, because if they post something racist, all of a sudden they're losing the money. I mean, they're losing money on their posts. They're no longer making money on their accounts on the site. So I mean, there's ways that you can put things like that and still allow people to have free speech, but there's consequences to free speech. You know, if you want to criticize somebody for being gay or being trans or somebody's race, I mean, you take that risk of other people hating your post and downvoting it. You know, like, and
Well,
I think that's.
Yeah, well, I think you should be able to say like, okay, so I will say like I hate white people, for example. I can say that, but I would not be allowed to say like I hate white people, and I think they're not allowed to be in the same car or in the same bus as me, right? Because at that point, I'm restricting their freedom of movement and their rights, equal treatment and everything, or yeah.
Right, but that's not. Yeah, but that's an idea. That's your ideological thoughts. So in the U.S., at least U.S. laws, you would not be breaking any laws in the U.S. There's no hate speech law in the U.S. yet. But even if there was, I don't think that would be classified under that law. I could be wrong. I mean, I would have to read the law if it passes, but there's no law for me to even base that off of. So I mean, that's an ideological thought. So I mean, you can say whatever the fuck you want, as long as it's not violent. As long as it's not violent, and you're not like, if you said I hate white people and I want to kill them all or something like that. I mean, like, that might be like on the line, you know, like, but you know, if you said I hate white people and I'm gonna murder them all, you know, that would be something that you would have to remove, or any race, not just whites, but any race. That would be considered to be violent speech.
Yeah, because you're already saying you will take actions to do it, right? I would say like, yeah, okay, so you can say like, okay, I hate them. I will start a movement. Okay, we will build this movement to make sure that white people are no longer allowed in trains, right? But that would be a discrimination thing, right? I mean, like in my country, we do have discrimination laws. Like one of our politicians, Geert Wilders, maybe you know about him. He was standing in public and he said like, he shouted like, Moroccans are criminals. Do you guys want more or less Moroccans here in this town? And all the people started shouting less, 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 right? But these were all his followers, of course, but they all started shouting that. And okay, so when he was prosecuted for this, I think this is discrimination. This you're calling for discrimination. But even though he didn't make the statement himself, he asked the question from people. So that was a very interesting lawsuit here, free speech lawsuit. But technically, we have anti-discrimination law. But the weird thing is, it doesn't apply to nationality actually. So, but it does apply to skin color, religion, and all these things. So, yeah.
Yeah. There's discriminatory laws in the U.S. too, but there's no hate speech laws that have passed yet.
Now, I would say like the limits to free speech is where you breach another law, and that's how you actually, yeah, you keep it within limits of like legally accepted things. Like I think personally I would say free speech is free speech, but I would not accept advocating for like not allowing white people in trains, for example, which is certain people can call.
Well, I mean, the issue is that Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube have now taken it so you can't criticize vaccines. Like, that's dangerous territory. That's literally them saying you can't say anything bad about Big Pharma.
Yeah, that is dangerous. You're like attacking a medical debate. Like,
Right.
there's no more open debate. That is really dangerous, definitely.
Yeah, especially if we create a vaccine and all of a sudden it starts fucking killing people and you can't talk about it.
Which is very possible.
Of course it is. It happened in the past. Why wouldn't it happen again? I mean, especially when you rush vaccines. But, I mean, there's been issues with the whole CV vaccine and everything. So, I mean, I'm not saying that every single person has had issues with it. It's just a matter of side effects of some people. There's all types of different factors and shit to take into account, but I'm not going to get into that. But yeah, I mean, like, preventing people from talking about certain topics is where we're getting into a slippery slope of danger, and you're literally saying to people, okay, I don't know what I am allowed to talk about and what I'm not allowed to talk about. Otherwise, I could get banned, and I could lose my whole revenue, and I could lose all my life. Like all the time that I put into building this channel, and that's not good. That's not where we want to go, and that's where we have to stand up and fight back, and that's what they're doing. And it's disgusting. And the fact is that they would even do that in a pandemic, and then say, "Oh well, we're trying to protect people." Like, protect people? You're literally screwing people out of their revenue during a pandemic and putting some people out on the streets. I mean, what the fuck?
I agree.
So, I mean, there's a difference between violent speech and saying you're going to commit violence and harm innocent people and you want to incite violence. I mean, even covering a protest, that doesn't necessarily mean that it's violence. That it's a violent. Like, even if you record violence, that doesn't mean you're supporting that violence. It means you're documenting it. You're documenting the protests and everything going on, and that's for the public record. So, I mean, that type of stuff could be allowed. But it's when you're inciting violence and you're saying that, you're going to go do this action or that action, and what happened with the Capitol and everything, where people are saying they're going to storm the Capitol and they're going to decapitate Mike Pence and decapitate Nancy Pelosi and this and that. I mean, it's ridiculous. I mean, yeah, I don't know why anybody would ever fucking post that on social media. I mean, you're a fucking idiot for doing that. It's a fucking federal crime. I mean, you're gonna face like 20 years. Like, but some people were, and they consider that to be free speech, and it's like, no, you can't threaten to murder somebody and say it's free speech.
No, of course not. No. And that's why I think that Parler made a big mistake, or they did it on purpose.
Yeah, that's a conspiracy, because it's interesting the connections that Parler has with John Matzey's wife to the Russians. As you know, I don't support the whole Russiagate thing, but That, however, is very interesting, and the fact that they were asking for social security numbers for some features, and
Exactly.
you couldn't message somebody, like you couldn't direct message somebody without sending your ID. There's some weird things there.
Yeah, well, Russia has not exactly been a proponent of free speech historically. So, I mean, not only talking about the Soviet history where free speech didn't exist, but still under Putin, who is for the former KGB manager in East Berlin, free speech hasn't gotten much better either. So maybe under Gorbachev temporarily it was a little better than under Yeltsin because he was drunk all the time, but since Putin came to power, it's not been getting better. I mean, the Article 20 has been removed from the Constitution. That is the right to have a free gathering of people on the street, like to have actual protests, is removed from the Constitution in 2012.
What he did to Pussy Riot.
Exactly. So they are not proponents of free speech in particular. They are only when it benefits them they will support one certain thing. But no, the rights there aren't. Yeah. It's not getting better at all, and I know there are some people who say like, yeah, Putin is so great because they support Assange and everything, but I will repeat it again without like smearing Russia too much, but you have to look at the Committee to Protect Journalists. There's a website, Committee to Protect Journalists, and it gives exact statistics, and 58 journalists died over the last decade in Russia. And now you can say they died, doesn't say they were murdered or whatever, but you have to look at the dates when they died, and become a little bit conspiracy minded like I am, and you'll see they all died on the 4th of a month. Seems pretty systematic, just saying. So whoever killed
Well, I mean, you know that there was a journalist who met Putin's wife and said that she kind of set him up and said that she had information for him and met her in a dark alleyway, and the rest is history, and he was dead.
Yeah. Yeah, so these aren't these kind of states aren't positive for free speech or journalism. Not at all. No. Not saying not saying like, okay, we have to smear Russia and the USA is so perfect, because the USA is fucked up too at this point. So you don't have to pick a side on that. That's something you also have. If you're listening to this, it's something you also have to think about. You don't have to pick a side. You can be just yourself and oppose all these authoritarianisms. The Chinese, the Russians, the USA. You can oppose all these people. It doesn't matter. You don't have to pick a side. It's not like, okay, I'm anti-USA, so I'm going to support China or something. It's not like that. You want the USA to be replaced by China or something.
That would be an interesting country to support. I mean, because they're more oh my god.
Yeah, they're even worse. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I can't speak right now. Yeah, they're fucking worse. I mean, they got surveillance systems set up so they could track somebody walking down the fucking street, like zoom in on them and get their facial recognition data easily.
Yeah, these are disgusting governments. I mean, Xi Jinping, who is like the leader there, he banned pictures of Winnie the Pooh online because Winnie the Pooh looks a bit. He looks a bit like Xi Jinping, is what people think, right?
No, that's not why. It's because people were trolling him with that in Hong Kong.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, they were fucking with him so hard with that, and he banned pictures of Winnie the Pooh. It was so great.
Yeah, you can see how. But doesn't that show like true weakness though? I mean, yeah. I mean, to be fair, I didn't see Trump banning any orange figures because they call him Orange Man. Yeah.
That's just so funny, though. I mean, it's literally the truth. They did. They banned fucking pictures of Winnie the Pooh. Like, it's hilarious.
Yeah, yeah. And he wrote into the Constitution that he can rule for life. It's now illegal in the Constitution to insult him and everything. It's disgusting, Xi Jinping. So yeah. Yeah, but it shows, to me, it shows weakness. By the way, I mean, if you're really like,
Yeah, absolutely.
yeah, if you're really in power, then you want people to make fun of you and stuff, because you think like, yeah, I don't have them make fun of me. I'm their leader, whatever. It's a part of an open system. People have to be able to make fun of authority, yeah, for it to be acceptable, even for people to agree with it. You have to be, yeah, you get a sense of freedom. Even if you're dealing with authority, you get a sense of freedom when you're allowed to make fun of it.
Right.
So yeah, that's a bad move, I think, from the Chinese government, because if you are the Chinese government and you would have this authority, you have this whole social credit system and everything, you allow people to make fun of it. It gives them a sense of freedom, and even if they don't have it. But this is a psychological thing. No one is allowed to make fun of the CCP, because the CCP is all powerful, and any doubt of its power is a threat to the Chinese system. So yeah.
Yeah.
That's why they also put these Uyghur Muslims in camps and stuff, because they know that if you're in true Islam, the God Allah is the highest and not the CCP. CCP is not in their holy books.
Right.
So yeah, that scares them. Any form of attacking authority, the pure authority of the CCP, that's all powerful, right? It has to be all powerful. Right, it has to be.
Right. Well, it's evolved, honestly, to be similar to North Korea.
Yeah, it is very, very similar. Yeah, people don't get it because their propaganda machine is stronger in that sense. So.
Only thing that's different between China and North Korea, and this is slowly changing, is with the fact that they have Uyghurs in camps and shit, is that people who stand against the government in North Korea, or stand against the laws that they set, like some of the ridiculous laws, like can't criticize the leader, blah blah blah. They put people in camps, and as far as I know, China doesn't put people in camps. They just put them in prison. They like some of the criticize the leader, blah blah blah. They put people in camp. Like like North Korea, they starve people to death.
Yeah. Which is not hard there, because it seems like a huge food shortage anyway. But yeah. That's the kind of stuff. But China, the danger is that it is actually a working government, and they are very powerful, and that's why they do form a threat to the security, to the freedoms of people around them, at least. You have countries like Tibet and Nepal; they've pretty much been raided by these Chinese, and it's very disgusting, because you can say like, okay, we complain about American imperialism and stuff, but we shouldn't close our eyes for other imperialists either, because they are imperialists, these Chinese. And they can say they're not, but they are. They put Africa in loans too. And we discussed about the microcredits and helping Africa, but the Chinese are actually putting certain African countries in eternal debts by handing them a lot of money, knowing they can't pay it back, and in return, as collateral, they ask like control over like islands and harbors and airports.
Oil also.
Yeah. But literally, like critical infrastructure, they target too. Like the airports of an entire country, they target this as the infrastructure. And when you have control over that infrastructure, you have complete control over the country.
I think the U.S. did that same thing in Iraq with the airports.
Yeah, the U.S. does it too. They're smart with it, and I think the Chinese and also others, like Russians, learn from that. Because I know the Russians are. I saw this interview with a Google whistleblower, and he said like he was whistleblowing about Google and about all the fucked up things they are doing, But he was also saying like, yeah, we are also watching, like, for example, like what the Russians do, and they target like 8 different countries in around the world at this point. And what they do is they directly they amplify local revolutionary movements, kind of like what the USA does. So they learn from it. I mean, if you talk about Iran, for example, what the USA does, there is a legitimate grassroots resistance against that country, because the Iranian government doesn't take human rights too seriously either. So what the US does, they just amplify that movement. They kill some high leader like Soleimani, and they start amplifying that local movement with like a lot of money, weapon shipments, and those things, social media power, and that's how you take over a country, by amplifying the locals. And then later on you move your own people in, saying we are here to bring peace.
Well, I mean, they have in the past also funded people who are over in countries, and kind of had them push their own agendas through them by funding them with money.
Oh yeah, that happens too. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, you had that's cheaper too, right? Instead of fighting them, you have your own people walk on front of them, or like on the front lines with them, and repeat a totally different story.
Well, no, it would still be fighting them, but it would be you're funding the resistance that's already in place, so you don't have to install resistance. So you just take as you said, you just take the chaos already happening there and fund it. The division. You just find division and fund it to destabilize the country. I mean, that's what they do.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And they do it through all types of form of propaganda, as you said. I mean, they use paid satellite TV. Like they'll build it. Like if they have to, right? They will build a whole new fucking news station in a country. Like it'll pop out of fucking nowhere, but.
Yeah.
And then they'll fund everything. Then they'll fund all the operations with that. But I mean, nowadays they just use social media to sway opinions in their favor. I mean, it's easy to use social media to do it. I mean, we witnessed it when we were speaking out against the whole no war with Iran, and we saw a fucking literally the next day we saw a counter protest where saying, "Help us, USA, invade Iran," or something like that. You know?
Yeah, it was disgusting. Yeah, it was all fake. Yeah. Yeah, so that's what they're doing. But they're also using these organizations like the WWF, Greenpeace, and these organizations, not directly to wage war, but they're setting up distribution networks and things. These are the really big help organizations, and they set up food distribution networks. The big NGOs, and they set up like food distribution networks that can also be used to fund to provide food and products to certain rebellion movements. They do that too, and they do it. And they are also good researchers and observers.
I mean, they'll also will use what was it, the first aid U.S. First Aid, I think it is. It's a CIA front organization, right?
Yeah.
They'll use types of organizations to then funnel weapons in instead of medicine and all of that. You know, they'll use it to hide shipments of weapons, and I mean it's going on for years.
Yeah, but also it's like you don't even have to do it with the organization itself, but you have these big organizations like the NGOs like Greenpeace and stuff. They can also identify local distributions and networks, who then can be used by foreign intelligence, foreign troops. Like, this guy in this town has connections to quickly bring something to this other town. Like such simple things.
Right.
Yeah, it's very simple.
There's all types of different ways and everything, and I mean, we know from I think it was Operation Goldeneye. I think that's what it was, or Project Goldeneye, something like that. They used offshore banks in addition to using BCCI during Iran Contra, and was using those banks to smuggle money and to fund gun running operations and the Contras.
Oh yeah, about that, by the way, did you read about the huge botnet being taken down today, the Emotet?
No, where?
Yeah, there is an international botnet is taken down. This is like really a huge botnet. It's called the Emotet. It's EMOTET. International police people have done that. Europol. I know service.
That must have been being used to take down the U.S. infrastructure. That's what it has to be.
Maybe. It's like they call it one of the most significant botnets of the past decade and one of the main door openers for computer systems worldwide. I know they took servers in my country. There were 2 main servers were taken in my country. Of course, Netherlands always has botnets, command control center systems. Two main servers were taken down here, and 1 server out in another country. It was done by Netherlands, France, Canada, UK, Germany, Lithuania, USA, and Ukraine.
Jesus.
Yeah. So it said, the most successful and prevalent malware of 2020 by a long way, he said. It had, over the course of the year, sent phishing emails with more than 150,000 different subject lines and 100,000 file names for the attachments. So literally randomized with 150,000 different subject lines, right? So you can't even recognize it.
Right, so then it was constantly it was essentially artificial intelligence malware.
Yeah, and it was sending, it was initially a banking Trojan, it says. But yeah, okay, so it is pretty much like the old school thing again, like you would receive an important Word document. Who opens that from unknown emails anyway these days, but yeah.
Right. Yeah, that's fucking nuts.
Yeah.
So it's a mix between old school malware or a worm and kind of like an artificial intelligence algorithm where it would rewrite itself and just distribute itself. That's fucking crazy, man.
Yeah.
That's advanced.
And this Dmitry Smilyanets from Recorded Future, he said, even if the creator and his support and operators are not arrested, they likely will not try to rebuild. They have enough cash to retire in peace or start a new criminal adventure. Like literally.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, they were probably stealing crypto too. I mean, more than likely.
I would so use it to mine, to be honest. Yeah. You're right.
No, I mean it's easier to steal it than mine it. I mean, like stealing it, they could get a lot more than just sitting there and using these servers to mine crypto. I mean, it would make more sense if you have a worm to also include the ability to capture people's private keys. I mean, it would. If they wrote something that is so sophisticated where it's going to keep changing its file names, and I mean, which that's not really that big of a deal, but the the fact that it can email people and change subject lines and all of that, I mean, that's more sophisticated than what we have seen in years.
I would personally, I probably, if you do like mining, you would probably do like a CPU mining and set it to like 10% or something of these people, so they wouldn't even notice. Using like 10% CPU max or a video card, use like 10% max of the power. You can pretty much let go on forever.
Well, yeah, but I mean, you think about it. I mean, like it makes more sense to just steal the private keys and steal people's crypto than to try and mine on somebody's computer. I mean, it would take thousands and thousands of computers to get even one full coin. I mean, come on.
In the case of Bitcoin, you mean? Yeah.
Well, in the case of Bitcoin, that would take a lot of fucking power. That would be hundreds of thousands of computers. I mean,
Yeah,
and you're not mining with fucking. You're not mining with fucking a CPU. You'd have to mine with a GPU, and you know, like one computer is not going to give you one Bitcoin. I mean, that years ago, yeah, you could use two GPUs and mine Bitcoin and get pretty good payout with it. I mean, like, I remember mining Bitcoin back in 2010, 2011, around that time period. I mean, and you know, I was able to mine up to like 100 BTC. So, I mean, unlucky for me, I lost the keys. But if I had that shit, you know, I would not have problems with money. I'll tell you that. 100 BTC right now, shit.
Yeah, I would never have to work again. Yeah. Definitely. Yeah. So yeah, I know it probably, yeah, like mining CPU coins, right? Like Monero or something, but put it on like 10 or 20% CPU usage. People would not even notice it, I think. Like, but yeah, these botnet owners, yeah, mostly they rent them out to others or something, right? For like spam or whatever or something. That's probably what these botnet owners did in this case too. That's some serious criminals rent these botnets and send these sophisticated spam campaigns.
Right, yeah. And the thing is, you can even profit off of the spam campaigns.
Yeah. Yeah, you know, like about the mindset of like coders, right? And there's not the same story. These coders are not just interested in like mass spamming people all day. They're coding stuff. They're writing viruses, whatever, worms. They're not going to be interested in spamming people with like Viagra mail or something. Like they just want to make money with it quick. They rent it out to people. Yeah. Just saying far too much maybe, but that's what they do.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's obvious what they do, but yeah, that's in some sophisticated malware for sure. I can't remember the last sophisticated malware like that, to be honest.
Yeah, exactly.
I remember My Doom and how bad that was. That was a bad Trojan.
Well, in the old days, you had like MSN and stuff was always being abused. MSN Messenger, for example, because like, so many people were using it, and it was like so it was going pretty fast to use things like that. Like it would just yeah, so and it would just forward to your entire contact list, right? And these people were all not computer savvy.
You said Amazon Messenger, and I'm like, wait, what? Amazon Messenger?
No, I meant MSN Messenger back then. Windows Messenger. The old.
MSN.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. MSN. I thought you said Amazon.
Yeah, but you know that. You had these worms saying like, "Is this you on this picture or whatever?" And then you would click on it, and it would forward to this your entire contact list, right? And it would send the exact same message to them, and they would all click on it, and it would again and again and again, and then you're talking about millions of infections in a matter of hours.
Right. Yeah, I remember that. I remember that clearly.
You have at Configure. I think Configure did the same, but on Facebook, if I'm correct. And later had a Yayfigure too.
Yep, I remember Conficker.
Yeah, I think that one is the same on Facebook, if I'm correct. The exact same as that. And people would click it. They wouldn't really mind because they get from a friend like saying like, "Is this you in this picture?" Right? They would just click.
I just remember My Doom and how bad that virus was. It like copied itself to every, like it would copy itself to a new partition that you would go to make a new partition, and reinstall, and then all of a sudden it would copy itself from that partition. It was fucking nasty.
Yeah, and these are pretty much the like Configure and other ones are like user-based worms. The worms spread to the users. The users click themselves. Nowadays you have automated worms, like they spread themselves through known vulnerabilities, and then when you have like outdated network of computers, they can spread themselves, and because they target so many, it's still going to spread a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have a gazillion computer. Go ahead.
And then this one, I was just gonna say, then this one, it was writing, basically writing its own emails to people, and at the same time, changing its file attachment. Yeah, that's pretty advanced. I'm not gonna lie, that's pretty advanced.
Yeah. Yeah, because these anti-spam softwares in these email boxes, like what Gmail or Hotmail and stuff, they recognize that stuff and they put it in the spam folder, and you will get like almost no reach on it. If you keep changing it and it is coming from like legitimate IPs, they're not going to have it in the spam folder, so you'll have it in your real inbox and you will click on it.
Right now, I would be interested to know if this was actually copying contact list and then emailing from the person, that was infected. That's where I would be interested to know. If it was doing that, right, then it could get by all of those filters easily. Because it looks like it's coming from a legitimate address,
Yeah, this already contained documents called form.doc or invoice.doc. Immutat used parked domains too to distribute payloads.
Use Spark domains?
Parked domains, so they use like unique domains all the time.
Oh wow.
So so just like an empty domain without like any site or whatever on it.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just reading through Wikipedia and stuff about it. There's already a lot of things.
Interesting. And it was the largest botnet that has ever been basically discovered. So,
now see what they also infected. They infected the Lithuanian government. They infected the Quebec Department of Justice, the University Gießen in Germany, Heise Online, a publishing house, an entire city, Allentown in Pennsylvania.
Oh shit! That's crazy.
Kammergericht Berlin, the highest court of the state of Berlin, was infected.
The entire city of Allentown in Pennsylvania was infected. Every single computer.
Yeah, it literally says it. But at noteworthy infections, the city of Allentown, Pennsylvania, 118,000 people.
No, the city of Allentown. Does that mean government computers, or does that mean the entire fucking city? Because
I think the entire city. It doesn't even give a specific government building, because at the other cities it does give specific, like the university or the highest court, but no. Yeah.
Wow.
Interesting, right?
Yeah, whoever wrote that. I mean, when does it say when it started infecting people? Like
2018.
2018.
Yeah.
They let this thing run for fucking 3 years?
Yeah, well, yeah, you're talking about some serious hackers perhaps being able to evade. So these are some serious people. Yeah. Emotat is known for See, I expected it already. Emotat is known for renting access to infected computers to ransomware operations such as the Ryuk gang. See, they rented
What is
out.
that?
That's the North Korean Advanced Persistent Threat. So yeah. They were renting out to North Korea.
Well, yeah, but so the Command and Conquer server was in the Netherlands, and where was it else? Was it?
I read this from an article by the Dutch police earlier today, and it said 2 servers were taken in Netherlands and 1 outside of it. They didn't say what country, but I know 2 servers were in the Netherlands. That has to do with networking power. The infrastructure is really good in Amsterdam for internet. So if you're looking at large-scale operations, you either have to be in Netherlands, maybe London Internet Exchange, but for the rest only in Amsterdam they can take such power. I'm pretty sure of that. Probably, if I could make a good guess, I would say it's probably like LeaseWeb or something. Because you're talking about, those are providers, they have like terabit connections and stuff. So, yeah.
Right, yeah. So how large was the botnet again?
It doesn't even specifically say it, maybe. It says like they use like so many different techniques that it's like really hard even to okay, so maybe in 2018 it was this size, maybe in 2019 it was because it says like, okay, as of September 2019 the Emotat operation continues to be active, running on top of 3 separate botnets called Epoch 1, Epoch 2 and Epoch 3. Right? So
wow.
This is so large, and I say like this is September 16 from CDNet by Catalin Simpanu. This Emotat, today's most dangerous botnet, comes back to life. There's an article called like that. It's from CDNet. What is the size of it?
It'll have to be a couple terabytes if it's the biggest botnet ever. I mean, come on,
Yeah, these are millions of bots. There's no other way. Talking about like bigger than Mirai, I think.
Yeah, for sure. But I mean, like, even to this day, I mean, Mira is still active on some computers. I mean,
yeah, Mirai was big, but like the old botnets, like the Configure one, were much bigger, if I'm correct. I'm not because it was way easier back then. Like there was pretty much no security. But this one is so big that authorities plan to mass uninstall Emotat from infected hosts on March 25, 2021. So on 25th of March, the authorities, the feds, are going to mass uninstall from all your computers the Emotat virus. Insane.
I'm guessing they're going to do that with a Windows update.
Probably, yeah. Yeah, it only targets Windows, of course. Yeah. Let's see what they're doing.
Yeah, well, I mean, most viruses aren't written for Linux or Mac. I mean, it's nowadays
technique.
Mac is a little bit more targeted, but Linux is still less targeted than Windows and Mac.
Okay, so I have it. While servers were located across multiple countries, Dutch officials said that 2 of 3 of Emotat's primary command and control servers were located inside its borders. Dutch police officials said today they used their access, so they hacked it. Dutch police officials said today they used their access to these 2 crucial servers to deploy a booby-trapped Emotat update to all infected hosts. So these Dutch police hackers are infecting the botnet with their own rogue update.
Right, okay, that makes sense. So they're trying to. They're also simultaneously trying to trace down who's commanding that.
Yeah, yeah. And then yeah. So instead of just raiding, they're actually taking command of it and then installing the updates. They're making the botnet update itself, right?
Right.
I'd say they're pretty tech savvy, these guys.
Yeah, I would say so too. If they went after and hacked the botnet and installed their own update, I mean, that means that I'm kind of confused though about how they're going to install updates like on March, or are they going to hack everybody's infected system and basically uninstall it, or like what's going on here? You know, like
Yeah. Okay, so they're keeping the virus on these users, I guess, and then they are going to have that virus update itself and uninstall itself. Now, this is assuming that the actual hackers don't have like a backdoor into their virus. But yeah, into their botnet. Yeah.
I mean, I imagine they do if they were that smart to code it so it basically works without them. I mean, most worms do, but I mean, this is something else.
Why are they waiting so long? Why are they waiting till the end of March? It's like 2 months.
Yeah, really. Yeah, they could all at once just start stealing data from people's computers.
Yeah. Mad Mom is thanking us for mentioning it. Yeah. Yeah, this was an international police operation and they are using the police hackers to do it. The Dutch police have been involved with a lot of these things lately. They're trying to make a name for themselves, I bet. They also hacked into the Fancy Bear group in Russia with that stuff, and they hack into a lot of they expose a lot of Tor sites like dark web markets and stuff. So they do a lot of crazy stuff.
Well, I'm fine if they hack fucking child pornography sites on the darknet. Yeah, clap, clap, clap. Good for you guys.
Yeah, well, at least then they're doing something useful with their time, right? I mean, instead of raiding or harassing activists.
Right. Yeah. That's a whole other division, though. That's cyber division.
Yeah. Oh, they just need to fuck off from us, and they need to just focus on these fucking pedophiles, and then I'll be a happy person. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I mean that's if they did that, then I mean that would be a positive thing. I mean,
well, I know the Dutch don't put priority on hacktivism. That they never did that. But still, they shouldn't start with that either. You just focus on the real, actual criminals like the pedophiles and child traffickers and these people. That is, yeah. You know, hacktivists do things for good, actually benefit society. I know one of them must be listening right now, so let's see.
well, yeah, but some take it a step further and get involved in carding, and that's where you go down the bad path.
Yeah, I'm not a supporter of that carding stuff either. I mean, you're targeting innocent people and stay away from that kind of stuff. I'm all for hacktivism. When I was young, like 16, 17, I was looking at these things, and yeah, it was like exciting just to look at, right? What all these people were doing. But when you're 18, you can't even be close to these things. It's just super illegal, and it doesn't benefit society either. I mean, you're not doing anything for the poor and whatever. You don't even know who like these credit cards belong to. Like, these are poor people. Everyone has a credit card these days. So. Was that like I never had like a okay, but this is maybe too much to say, but I never had like a big problem with targeting these huge corporations who ransack the world. Like an ideological problem. I mean, I know it's illegal and we can't advocate for it, but ideologically, I wouldn't be. I won't like be unable to sleep because of it. But with targeting just random people, individuals, and the credit cards and stuff, like it's to me disgusting too. It's just damaging.
Right, yeah, and I mean, I talked to one person and they said, well, if and this is a dumb argument. It's like, oh well, they cover up to $10,000 on FDIC, and that's like, yeah, up to $10,000. But if you take $10,000, somebody else takes $10,000, and another person takes $10,000, you just fuck that person's life.
Yeah, definitely.
And it's just fucking poor people, and it's like, like, why? Why would you get involved in that?
Even looking at the amount of poverty in society, if you have 1 million credit cards, you can say like maybe 990,000 of these credit cards belong to poor people. So yeah, there's a huge chance that you are hitting a person in poverty. Like, I mean, a guy like Donald Trump or a Bill Gates is not going to die from it if you steal like $10,000 from him. Not saying you should ever, but I mean, like, you don't have to like lay awake at night thinking like, oh my God, he lost $10,000. It's pretty much one dinner these guys have.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, so this botnet, was ended. Like, but that the guy said, they can do their next criminal adventure and they don't have to work anymore. Yeah. Went on for 2 years, 2018, but probably before that already.
Yeah, I would imagine so. I mean, I always take it as a kind of grain of salt when they talk about when something started. I mean, they're never going to tell you the real truth about when it started.
No.
They're going to exaggerate it a little bit, especially with something like this because it's a security issue. Like, it would be interesting. Like, why? Like, I understand why they would want to uninstall it from everybody's computers, right? But first off, why would it take them so long to do? Second, like, what was this doing? Was it just taking computing power? Was it copying files? Like, there needs to be more information there.
Yeah, they said it's primarily a banking Trojan. I doubt it, because they also said in the same article that the makers of this botnet were renting it out. So that already doesn't make sense anymore. So they're using existing software, existing like banking Trojan software, probably because they like the code of it. But they used it to create a major botnet and then rent it out. So when you write in these articles saying like, no, this is a banking Trojan, no, you're just saying they were renting it out to the fucking North Koreans, for example. So not a banking Trojan at all. It was used for spam and for other things. So it's not fair to say these things. It doesn't educate people well in that sense. What you have to say is, okay, they use existing viruses, existing Trojans, and like adapted the code because they like these Trojans. They like the software. Yeah.
Yeah, it kind of sounds to me like it was much more than just a banking Trojan. Based off of what you read, I mean, it sounds to me like this was set up not just to be for stealing information for banking logins, but also as a means for being used as a botnet command and control for distributed attacks. I mean, that's what it sounds like to me.
Yeah. Yeah, so like in command control, so there's systems like in the past. I'm not sure. I'm not into the botnet at this point, but yeah, you use like IRC, right? And you have them all connect to your IRC server, and they from there on you can control them, right? Pretty much like that. And you can give them commands, and that from there you work on these things. And, well, and when the police hacks into your stuff, they gain power over your IRC server and gain the control to do those commands, pretty much. So, yeah. Has to do with discovery. They discover those servers, and then they see this IRC software installed, and they take control over it, and then they have the power to command the bots. And in this case, they're commanding it to release an auto removal thing in March. Yeah.
That's just so weird, man. Like, why would they do it in fucking March and not February?
Yeah,
It must take a year. It must take a month to code, I guess. I don't fucking know, but I mean...
Yeah, maybe, yeah. Yeah, or maybe there's like a planned update or something going on, like a Windows update. I don't know.
Yeah, that has to be it, because, like, the whole city of Allentown, holy shit, man, like, that's... I don't think there's ever been a virus that has infected an entire city, like...
Yeah, it was weird. It listed it as an entire city being infected. Yeah.
And if that's the case, I mean, how the fuck didn't it infect further cities in PA, you know? Like...
Yeah. Yeah, it just shows what is still possible, even in 2021. I mean, being from like 2005, 2008 times, being interested in those things, and the world was a very different place back then. Today, as a person, I would be scared to do any of that. Like surveillance systems are being getting so intrusive and things that I would not trust to be good enough at hiding it, not to be arrested like in a day. So I wouldn't do that. But yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting. For sure. I mean, like years ago, there was a lot of vulnerabilities. If you remember, like for the longest period of time, JavaScript and Java was also very exploitable, and I mean, it wasn't fixed for years. I mean, so there was all types of different exploits years ago that don't exist today, and you know, we've come a long way in updating security, but I mean, there's still a lot to do, but
yeah, well, JavaScript. Go ahead. Sorry.
No, I was just going to say, for the most part, systems are more secure than they were years ago.
Yeah, well, what you're saying, JavaScript is actually still, it's still popular to display like these super harmful ads and stuff, and it can still be used as browser bypass. I think most browsers actually patch these things now, but it's like less than a year ago, I think, that there was this 0 day used by the FBI, and it was like a lawsuit with Mozilla over it, because Mozilla demanded the FBI to disclose this vulnerability to them, because they said, like, if you don't disclose it to us, everyone is vulnerable to it, and it's not just you who are capable of using this vulnerability. I'm not sure who won that lawsuit, but I think the FBI had to disclose it. I'm correct. But that was actually used as a Tor bypass. So the feds would lure someone to a site they owned by advertising it on like the known hidden wikis and stuff, and the people would be lured to it, and they would click on it, and a browser bypass using like a JavaScript, for example, connects to your local computer, right? It's like same as like with Flash, right? You had like the old Flash videos, and
Right.
it would say like, yeah, load Flash, and then the Flash software is on your computer, so the Flash software on your computer connects directly to the site. It doesn't use the Tor network, it connects directly to the site, right? Because you're loading it, and then you're loading it, and then that site where you're clicking on it makes a direct connection to your computer, because it loads the software.
Well, if you're using a VPN that is always on and connected, like it would give the VPN IP. But yeah, I see what you're saying.
Yeah, but it gives like a lot of information about the computer, not just the VPN, not just the IP, right? But also like for example, like a MAC address or like a screen resolution, camera version or microphone version and stuff, and you can find a lot of stuff about something.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. It gives all that information. Right.
Yeah, yeah. And if you have a screen resolution and you have the exact camera version and brand and the exact microphone version and brand, you already know the exact computer someone is using, and combine that with a MAC address, you can pretty much find out where and how it has been bought if it's like new in the store. And I think they can pretty much, if you think really Orwellian, they can see you buying it on the store video camera, for example.
Oh yeah. Right. Yeah, or if you buy it online, they would be able to easily track who purchased it. But I mean, when it comes to MAC address, I mean, you could easily change your MAC address, but if you're not that smart, I could see how that would be used against you.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah, and of course you can change these things. That is all possible, but these are just ways to they can use to identify you. And keep in mind, they can also read the task manager, for example. They can read what programs are running in the task manager for Windows. You can do that by you can gather that information on as a site owner. So and they probably installed all these different things to gather as much information as possible. Separate from an IP address, of course. Yeah.
So you think by exploiting Flash, they were actually able to install software?
Oh, with Flash is definitely possible, but in this case they use JavaScript. I know that. And there was a 0-day in Firefox, and Mozilla had a huge lawsuit against the FBI about it. And this is, I think, a year ago or 2 years ago. But I remember posting about it on Twitter, and my Twitter's not that old. So yeah, I know they do this. They use honeypot.
They would install a Java-based program, right?
Well, it loads the JavaScript. Like you click on the site, and it loads like a JavaScript that, some sites use to display pop-ups on your computer, right? These annoying pop-ups.
Right.
Pretty much that. That's pretty much the same thing. But instead of loading a pop-up, you can load pretty much anything you want. So yeah, I mean that pop-up is loading something using JavaScript, like it is like a script that actually displays that pop-up. But you can let the script do pretty much anything, to be honest.
So you could have it run a executable file.
Make it download an executable file, for example. Yeah, definitely. Like,
Did you make it execute the file? Like, could you make it download the file, like, silently and then execute the file?
Yeah, pretty much you can do that kind of stuff. Yeah. So that's
Okay,
super hard.
then yeah, so what they would do then probably, it wasn't just grabbing an IP and MAC address, it was grabbing fucking everything it could for identifying whoever's using that computer.
Well, look, you can like technically you can have it download a file and you can give it like can have it send like instructions to have that file load when someone like restarts Explorer.exe or something. That it gets loaded.
Right. Yeah. So yeah. So it would install the file on the next boot. Yeah, that's kind of how I saw it working. To be honest, I mean, but
yeah,
interesting because I was just thinking, like, you know, with an IP address or a MAC address, you know, the IP could be behind a VPN, and the MAC address could be changed. So, I mean, how would they identify that person? And, if they were able to pull way, way more, and I'm talking like pictures on somebody's fucking computer, and, pulling like information about the operating system and the actual computer itself, I mean, then you got a lot more information to identify somebody with.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, so the FBI, they use this. That's what they had to do to target like the dark web, right? You bait people into fake sites because it's so hard to identify users or take down existing sites. You target the users directly, and then you hope that you catch someone who is running something big, like a competitor or something, right? So you have your, so let's say you start your fake marketplace site with that on it, and you hope you're catching a competitor that runs another marketplace site, something like that, because he's interested to see who his competitors are. So that's pretty much how they infiltrate these systems.
Right, yeah, I see what you're, or you just catch people who are trying to buy or sell illegal things. Yeah.
But listen, this is what they're doing this way because they're recruiting black hats, right? And they have the hacker mindset, and they're thinking like that. To infiltrate them, they are going to social engineer these people too, and they recruit the right people for that. To be honest, so yeah.
Well, some of them, yeah, right. Obviously, they're not going to recruit fucking pedophiles and people who are selling like fucking guns and illegal drugs. I mean, some of them they might.
But look, if you're trading cocaine on a dark web market, you're not going to be interested in a police job. I mean, what the hell? I mean, you can make it in an hour what you can make there in a year. Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. And there's also there's people who are in gangs who are doing that too. So they're like the tech person in a gang, like they do have that.
Oh yeah, definitely. Especially now that much mafia and stuff, they also trade in bitcoins and Monero and whatever. So yeah. Of course, you need also tax to do that. Set up wallets and everything, like really serious. Illegal fake exchanges, everything.
Well, the way that they would launder that money would be through like local bitcoins or something like that. But I mean, nowadays they require IDs, so where would you take that money that you used to do a drug transaction or any other type of transaction on darknet? I mean, it's becoming much, much harder for these people to cash out that money.
Yeah. Okay, I don't want to give advice, but there are things like online casinos and stuff, and you don't have to like cash it out yourself. But imagine playing against your friend who then beats you and everything.
Right, yeah, I can see what you're saying there.
Yeah. I mean, the casinos are a very close circuit on things. Yeah, I mean that still happens, but this has always been done in casinos, right? There's nothing new. I mean, mafias always went to casinos to whitewash money and stuff. So, I'm not saying I don't think I'm saying anything special here.
No, yeah, that's well known. That's nothing new.
Yeah.
That's old tricks. I mean, that's been going on for years, but now in a digital sense, it makes things a little easier for them to do. But I mean, at the same time, a lot of these casinos you can't cash out directly to fiat, so they only accept Bitcoin, and from there, I mean, I guess you could whitewash it through it, and then cash out to another wallet and do it that way. But I mean, it's still going to be hard to actually cash it out. I mean, when you go to cash out, the government's going to say, "Where did you get this money?" Like.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. You have to pay a percentage over your gambling profits, I guess. Okay. So what you have all this illegal money and you start like gambling on some poker site, and yeah, someone else is like pokering against you, and he's winning everything from you, right? And he's not doing anything illegal. He enters there with $100 and he makes $1 million. And he's not doing anything illegal. He's just letting him win with stupid cards. Yeah, I mean, this is all the mafia stuff. I'm just thinking outside the box, right? I mean, this is all super obvious, and I know they know all of this too. I mean, the fats and stuff. I mean, that's what you watch for.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they're well aware of all that. I mean,
I don't think you can stop it. Even.
If not, you just taught them. I mean,
yeah.
I think it's pretty obvious how to do that, but.
Yeah, but I mean, like, okay, so imagine like you're selling like drugs on the street or something, and the profits you're taking to a casino, and you make someone else win it from you. You just cash money, right? And that someone else just won everything at a casino, and he went in with $50, and there's no trace to you ever making any money. So, yeah, it's just a thing they do. But yeah. Yeah, the dark web and stuff. Yeah, okay. So these people make so much money. I don't think many of them are interested in police jobs. I don't think that. No. Although, yeah, you could probably get a free car and you get a steady job. You don't have to do anything else anymore. Yeah.
Well, I mean, they would force some of them. I mean, they force some of them into becoming informants because they threaten them and say, "Okay, well, if you don't become an informant for us, we're going to give you 20 years or more." Depending on what the offense is, I mean.
Yeah, that makes sense, yeah. You catch the small fishes and you take the big ones in, there it is.
Right, yeah. So depending on, what the person is accused of, I mean, I've never heard of a informant case in a pedophile case yet, so I don't think that they would try to make a child abuser into a informant. But if somebody's selling drugs or something like that, yeah, that's a good point to try and make somebody into an informant and try to rat out the higher level people.
Yeah. Yeah, with cell phone, it's of course extremely illegal to even have that around you. Not saying cocaine is more legal, but
yeah, but those are two different. The one's a drug, and then the other is basically abuse. I mean, so two different stories there. I mean. And in most cases, I would say that the person who's selling cocaine is going to detest the child abuser.
Well, yeah, that is typical. Most in the criminal scene detest child abusers. Like, those are like the most hated people, also like in jails and stuff.
Oh yeah, they get beat the fuck up all the time.
Yeah, it's good. They deserve it, these assholes. I have no. I don't see people using drugs as a criminal act at all. Yeah, I'm from Netherlands, so yeah, that's different. Selling drugs to like minors and stuff, I do see as a big crime. And these harmful drugs like heroin and stuff, I'm not a fan of that. But just using drugs or whatever, I don't see it as a crime. It's your own choice what you do with your body, in that sense. Yeah, my personal.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. But there also, when it comes to some drugs, I mean, it's just in general, it's there to harm somebody.
Yeah.
Like heroin or crocodile or fucking meth. You know, like all of those are there to fucking harm somebody.
Yeah, definitely. That's super harmful stuff. Yeah, technically like weed or even cocaine, yeah, it grows on a plant, to be honest. Yeah, in cocaine they put like all these chemicals in, like benzonates and stuff.
Right, yeah. Yeah, they also do that for weed too. Some like street weed is created by spraying chemicals on it and also putting pills in the soil. Yeah, it's bad.
Yeah, and there's also this happened in my own country. There's these disgusting scammer coffee shops where they put like hairspray on weed to make it look shinier and better. So yeah, that's very common practice.
Hairspray.
Yeah. So we have good coffee. Like here we have coffee shops, right? It's legal. So there's good coffee shops, and the weed you buy there is like really good. Right? Like they know exactly what it does to you and what the effects are. But there's also some of these shady coffee shops, and they spray like hairspray on it, and then it looks better. Like literally, it looks better. Like okay, so if a weed has like much THC on it, it's just like white and stuff. It looks like it's very sticky. The weed is very sticky on your fingers.
Yeah, but hairspray is deadly. Like what the fuck?
Yeah, it's deadly. Yeah, if you yeah. I smoked weed with hairspray before, and it was disgusting. So yeah, I didn't expect that before.
You probably lost a lot more brain cells than normal.
Yeah, yeah. I smoked a lot of weed. Like I smoked weed for like 15 years, I think. So, but I smoked. I knew exactly what I was smoking and where I was getting it. But like incidentally, I was getting going to another town or something. I was buying some weed, and then I smoked weed with hairspray, and it was disgusting. But you could already smell it. You smell like
That's crazy, hairspray, man. Hairspray. Yeah. Like I said, hairspray. I mean, that can fucking kill you. It says don't drink the hairspray, and I'm like, come on. So what's the difference between smoking it and drinking it? I mean, inhaling it.
Oh, you mean weed or hairspray?
Yeah. Well, yeah. What would be the difference of inhaling the weed with hairspray sprayed on it and drinking hairspray? I mean,
yeah, no, exactly. No, that is a very good point because it enters into your lungs. It enters into your body too. I mean, otherwise you wouldn't even get stoned from the weed. So it's going to get into your body.
Right. Yeah, and that's where it's dangerous because I mean, hairspray is deadly if you swallow it or fucking if you drink it. I mean, it's deadly.
No, I did. No, Mad Mom says you were smoking hairspray. You did it anyways. No, I didn't know I was smoking hairspray. Like, okay, after like half a joint, I realized it. To be fair. Yeah. Yeah.
To be fair, you probably realized it after the first puff, and then you were just like, well, no, you didn't realize it was hairspray. You realized something was wrong. But
yeah, not definitely realized something was wrong instantly. But I did then You get so trustable over these coffee shops because they're very professional, to be honest. Coffee shops here. I mean, but you get so you trust them in that sense that you think like, okay, maybe this is just weird weed or something. But at some point, no, this is actually hairspray. I mean, just the scent of it and stuff, and like the taste of it. Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Can't believe that they would fucking do that and try to like essentially kill people. Holy fuck.
Yeah, well, and I smoked weed for 15 years. I smoked all kind of weeds, and I don't think it ever did me any harm except for making me demotivated after like 10 years. That's the only real effect it ever had on me. Like I was seriously getting demotivated in the sense it was very hard to get out of bed and things, and I stopped smoking weed a few years ago. I smoke maybe a joint like once a year or something now. One of my friends comes over and he always wants to smoke a joint, but it makes me seriously demotivated. But for the rest, it never did me any harm in the long term. I think.
You think?
Yeah. I know that your short-term memory gets a little bit more fucked up, but your long-term memory doesn't. I mean, I still remember everything from when I was a kid, so that doesn't harm me anything.
I mean, that's a danger of buying weed is that it could be made like that, and like I said, there's gangs and shit where they basically use pills in the soil with the weed, right?
Yeah.
And then they sell those same pills. After they dig up the plants and everything, they sell those same pills because they're not gonna just let those pills go to waste. But they allow the pills to seep into the soil of weed, and that makes the weed more potent.
Yeah.
But the way that they're doing it, it's dangerous as fuck.
Yeah. So Ivy. Yeah, you're completely right. And Ivy says the point is probably not a good one. Yeah. So that was the point behind it. So if you have like, okay, so if you're an experienced weed smoker, like after good weed, it has like these white THC crystals on it, like it's really white with a lot of THC on it, and weed is very sticky too. Well, with the hairspray, actually it looks sticky. It becomes more sticky, and it also becomes a little bit more shiny. Like it actually looks like it's better weed. Yeah. Well, it actually wasn't. So they do it purely to make it look better, so it gets sold better, I guess. But I can imagine that anyone who smokes it comes back to them and says like, what is this bullshit? Yeah.
I can imagine that somebody's going to take a brick through their window for that.
Yeah.
That's that's wrong. That's deadly. You could try to kill somebody that way. But yeah. Crazy.
Yeah.
It's almost as bad as people making fake LSD and spraying like fucking chemical, like homemade what's it called, custom homemade chemicals on like a piece of paper and saying this is LSD. Like, oh man,
That's fucked up. Yeah. Yeah, well, it's like almost like someone throws something in your drink or something, right? Putting the hairspray on the weed like that. It's like you're drinking a beer or something and someone throws something in it, like a chemical. Like that's how I feel.
right? Yeah, that's why I referenced the LSD thing, because that was like something that was going around here for a long time. Like people making fake LSD with like homemade chemicals. I forget what the real term is for it, but like fucking homemade chemicals and selling LSD and people putting it on their tongue and then fucking ending up in a hospital because it has like God knows what fucking chemical in it, like gets you high, but you'll fucking could die from it.
Yeah, exactly.
Go into coma from it. I mean, like because like you poison your body, and that's the thing with LSD too that a lot of people don't know is that LSD, the chemical, is literally poisoning your body, and it poisons your body, and it makes that and it has that effect where like you start having like more vivid colors and all of that that's associated with LSD. I mean, what it's doing is it's literally poisoning your nervous system when you take it. A lot of people don't know that, but that's what it's fucking doing. Like that's exactly what it's doing. That's why they say with LSD, they say not to take a lot of LSD like at first, because if you take too much, it'll make you like your nervous system will be shot.
Yeah. Yeah, I never had anything like that, so I really don't know much about it. But now I know what they do with weed and with whatever. Yeah. So yeah, this yeah, I never like really was like a heavy drinker, especially when it was like well, when I was 18, early 20s. Yeah, I was drinking something, going to bars and stuff. But after that, not really. But I have always been smoking weed, and then you recognize these things they do to it. It's always been legal here, right? And it's very kind of professional, and you always go to the same places, but then you go to the wrong place and you get fucked over, I guess. So, yeah. DMT,
Yeah.
I see DMT is also popular. That's getting more popular now because it has these weird hallucinations, right?
Well, it's because DMT is literally in your brain and it's released when you go to sleep. So essentially what you're doing is you're triggering the DMT to be released while you're awake.
Isn't it also something that happens when you have like a near-death experience and stuff?
Yeah. It's released when you have a near-death experience. It's released when you have a dream. And I think it's released with trauma, too. I think when you have trauma, I think it releases DMT. Not sure about that, but I think so. DMT is a very interesting subject, to be honest. I mean,
Yeah, it's unique because I've read about it. So I never used it, but I've read about that people experience the same or similar hallucinations, which is interesting to me at that point.
yeah, I've heard a lot of people say that they saw aliens and they saw like little green gnomes and like all types of shit. Yeah.
Yeah, hallucinations are interesting. That is just an effect of your body, but when everyone hallucinates the same thing, then it becomes really interesting, because that shouldn't be possible. Like you should not be hallucinating the same things. Now, okay, so basic hallucinations, like for example, like lights getting brighter or something, those I don't consider like hallucinations in that sense. But seeing the same creatures and stuff, that should not be possible, right?
Yeah, it's very interesting. Very, very interesting for sure. I've read about that for a long fucking time about how the kind of the creatures that people see. It's usually like gnomes and shit, and like little green men, and yeah, it's interesting. It's very interesting.
Yeah. So I've had mushrooms in the past. Like that's also like what you call like a psilocybin. I've had mushrooms in the past, twice in my life. It has weird hallucinations too, definitely.
Depends on the strength of it. To be honest, I mean, some of the mushrooms, they don't have the actual psilocybin. Psilocybin, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know how to pronounce it either, but something like that. Psilocybin. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, anyway, however the fuck you say it. Anyway, some of them don't actually have that chemical in it, and they're just yeah, or some of them do have that chemical, but it's like not a lot of the chemical. I mean,
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Well, that's illegal here too, right? So yeah, you can actually you can get these in like smart shops.
is it heroin fucking legal there? Like,
It's legal to use it, but it's not legal to sell it. Heroin. Yeah. But it's legal to use it. Yeah, definitely. You can do whatever you want. It's in the healthcare system, so to speak. So you can do that. And if you get like you become an addict, you can go into the healthcare system, and you get like methadone at like a pharmacy, right, to lose your addiction. Yeah.
wow.
Yeah, this is not in the criminal system. The selling is though. I mean, you're not allowed to sell heroin or even cocaine. I mean, you're not allowed to sell that. But you're allowed to use it. You're allowed to use it next to a cop if you want to.
That would be funny.
Yeah, I know streets in Amsterdam. There's like these well-known streets in Amsterdam where people use on the streets, they're shooting heroin on the streets, for example, right? It's not like that everyone is shooting heroin through the entire city, but there are certain streets where it is known that a lot of these people come, and yeah, there are cops in these streets too, and there are people shooting heroin next to these cops, and they don't mind. Yeah. The weird thing. This is the weird thing, right? They don't have it in the criminal system, and to be honest, looking at the amount of abuse, it's much lower here than in the USA. So, if you have throw it in the criminal system, like even if you have like weed in the criminal system, kids, young people still want to buy it, and they will always buy it from like these street dealers who also sell heroin and stuff. So they get easily
Right, and
yeah.
then the weed that they're getting could be tainted. Like, you never know.
Yeah, and the same guy offers them like, oh, I don't have weed today, but I do have some cocaine, or I do have some heroin. You can try this too. Yeah.
Or my favorite is the sprinkle on of harder drugs, and they do that a lot. People don't realize that, but they do that a lot.
Yeah, liquid drugs, like the rolling papers of weed, of joints, for example. They put those in a liquid drug and then have it dry, and it is also has another drug in it. Yeah, what they do too.
No, I meant just like sprinkling like heroin on weed,
Oh yeah.
or sprinkling cocaine on weed. That's like stuff that they do.
Yeah, and that's what you get with street sales. I'm not a fan of that stuff. I mean, coffee shops here are very professional.
Like everywhere. I mean, like it would deter people buying bad batches. You know, like.
Yeah, well, if you would go to like Amsterdam to like the greenhouse, for example, has like 1100 different types of weeds, right? And if you go to the greenhouse, but this is like a unique, it's like very big, but you go there, it's pretty much like you're walking into McDonald's for weed. It's that sterile, it's that professionally done. It is like these people know they have an exact list of things, what kind of effect this weed has. If it is like a strong weed, if it gives you like a high, or if you get like really stoned from it, like those kind of things. And they have like different types of weeds branded as medical weeds. And actually, our healthcare system is so that so you can get medical weed at a pharmacy, but you can also actually get funding to get actual weed at a coffee shop, which is branded as medical weed. So they actually pay you to go to a coffee shop and buy weed. So
Wow.
yeah, It's that it's done like that. But these coffee shops are very professional. It's just like it's not dangerous at all. It's not like they don't sell you anything that is damaging. But there are some of these shady ones, and there's the really shady ones. But they are not the main ones like in Amsterdam. In Amsterdam you will not find bad stuff at all. No. They're way too careful with their reputation and things. It's because it's so much for tourists, and if a tourist buys something wrong and you write something bad on the internet, they're going to lose serious customers. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
All right, man. I am dead tired.
Someone in the chat says, when my friend and I arrived in Amsterdam, I asked in a cop car for directions. The smell of weed coming out of the car was unbelievable. Yeah, cops smoke weed too, definitely. Yeah. As long as they're not drinking, that can make people very aggressive. Weed usually doesn't. So. Someone says they're trying to stop tourism. Well, yeah, tourism is going to end with these lockdowns, right? There are no there's no red light district in Amsterdam anymore. I mean, there's no prostitutes there standing behind windows like you're used to, because it's not allowed during this COVID stuff. And yeah, restaurants and stores you can only pick up stuff, so it's going to kill everything, of course. Yeah, we can end the broadcast. Yeah.
Yeah, before I fall asleep, I'm getting there, dude. Like it's too late.
Like 5 hours or something again. 4 hours.
Seriously? I didn't realize it was 5 hours. I thought it was like 2, 3, but not 5. Jesus.
No, 4 hours. We're close to 4 hours now. So yeah.
Yeah, time for me to go to sleep before I pass the fuck out on the keyboard.
Yeah, so and we have Tyler. If I'm correct, he's back tonight, and he will probably stream. He will probably do the streaming. So regular time, regular ABB time. That is what is it? 7 in the evening Californian time. Yeah. So share this around, and okay, you give the PSA.
Remember to spay and neuter all politicians and lobbyists. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, good night, guys.